Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto was born 7 years earlier to make his father's legacy and befriend Fox part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. October 10th, 059. Perhaps some thought they were a bit on the younger side to be parents, but they were ninja. Ninja tended to live short lives, so having children early was almost a requirement if they were to have any at all. Besides, Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze were in love. The mushy kind of love that is usually found in romance novels, the kind where they couldn't imagine being without the other. So they decided, whether that was premeditated or not, we'll never really know, to have one at the ripe age of 19. Besides, Kushina's friend Mikoto was pregnant, too, and she was only 3 years older. The only one that was as excited as the parents themselves was the 8-year-old Chunin Kakashi Hatake, who viewed Minato, his sensei, as a new father figure, his biological father having taken his own life years prior. Kakashi was fascinated at the prospect of his mentor having an heir. He would be able to return all the help his sensei gave him by being an older brother to the child, a prospect that he was more than a little intrigued in taking part in. It was a complete success, Minato announced, smiling proudly after emerging into the waiting room. The present guests were Jiraiya sensei, Kakashi, Mikoto Uchiha, and Sarutobi Hiruzen, the current Hokage. Naruto Uzumaki is asleep in Kushina's arms. Kushina's a little tired with some mood swings, but both are doing great. He's a happy little redhead and one with a bright future, I'm certain of it. Uzumaki not Namikaze? Jiraiya asked, smirking with a hand on his shoulder. You really are whipped then. Oh, hush, Jiraiya, Hiruzen scolded. I'm sure this was a mutual decision. Yeah, mutual. Minato chuckled awkwardly, shivering at the thought of the red-hot habanero's wrath. As she put it, he wasn't the one who had to carry it around for 9 months and push it through he cut that thought off quickly. She had a point, though, and Kushina's clan did need an heir after their destruction in Whirlpool. He was an orphan, so he would much rather help his wife than start his own clan. Especially since his only secret techniques weren't bloodlines, just blood, sweat, and Tyran's self-made or modified techniques. Minato-sensei, can we go in to see them now? Kakashi asked. Sure, just be very quiet. Minato led them to see the newly born child sleeping in his mother's arms, all the while Kushina was staring at him with a look of absolute adoration on her face. I thought we agreed on 2 guests each, Minato, Kushina glared at her husband. Well, you only used 1, so I thought he tried to defend. Daddy's not very good at listening to directions, is he, my little Naruto? No, he isn't. No, he isn't. She cooed. I see what you mean when you said she was having Jiraiya started, but was quickly stopped by the yellow flash's hand. A wonderful time with her new son, yep. Now, let's remember to stay quiet so we don't wake the little guy, Minato said quickly. Hiruzen chuckled and approached first. You'll make a wonderful mother, Kushina dear. And I'm sure this little one will be a fine shinobi. After all, how could the son of a future Kage be anything but? Oh, did I say that out loud? That's the worst kept secret in the village, old man. Jiraiya laughed, patting his sensei on the shoulder. Everyone knows that you're too wrinkly to do the job properly anymore. Minato-sensei? Kakashi asked. Would it be alright if I held Naruto for a moment? Kushina? Is that alright? Sure thing, Kakashi, she sighed, gesturing for him to sit down next to her. Now, be careful with him, okay? Keep his head up, yeah, just like that. Kakashi looked down at the new life. Had he not always worn that mask, you would have been able to see his bright grin at the child in his hands. Hello, Naruto. October 10th, 065. The past few years had really had their ups and downs for Minato. His son was the biggest blessing he could have ever been given and also the biggest curse for Kushina for the first year or so. Naruto was a very needy child, happy whenever he had attention, but when he didn't have it, he would do anything to get it. Fortunately for him, he had a lot of attention, as he was the son of the Yellow Flash, now the 4th Hokage. As of a year ago, give or take a few months, he'd been officially named Hiruzen's successor and became the 4th Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves. That was one of the happiest days of his life, alongside marrying Kushina, having Naruto, and the official end of the Third Great Shinobi War, which had ended shortly prior to his elevation to the Hokage position. Unfortunately, when life gives, it also takes away. 2 out of his 3 students had passed away since his son had been born. One died after saving Kakashi from a cave-in during a rescue operation for their other teammate, Rin. His team was devastated, but they moved on until Rin was kidnapped again, this time by the Hidden Mist, and forcefully implanted with the 3 tails. After managing to escape, she impaled herself on Kakashi's lightning blade, sacrificing herself for her village at the hands of the one she loved. He was also nearly losing Kakashi himself. The young Jonin joined the ANBU immediately after the war, unable to truly face himself after failing to save Obito and Rin, but more so for his failure to keep Obito's promise. The white-haired Sharingan user only seemed happy the few times he would visit Naruto, but he was so miserable in general that he could hardly force himself to even do that, especially with the hefty workload that ANBU demanded. The boy himself, Naruto, was coming along greatly. He was still a bit of an attention hog, loving to have everyone's eyes on him, but at least he hadn't gotten cocky or selfish. The few times he'd started to develop anything that seemed close, Kushina beat it right back out of him. The joys of motherhood. He'd started Naruto's basic training at 5, around his initiation to being Hokage. Well, it was mostly Kushina, seeing as he was just recently elected ruler of the village, but he helped whenever he had free time. Naruto was naturally fast, very fast to an almost uncomfortable degree. His natural speed was up to par with a slow genin, and being an Uzumaki, he was not short on stamina in the slightest. Come January, Naruto would officially join the Ninja Academy, having reached the minimum age requirement, alongside his best friend Itachi Uchiha, Mikoto's eldest son, who he met and befriended through Mikoto and Kushina's friendship. Now, however, he was being blessed again. By some strange coincidence of fate, he and his wife Kushina were having another child on the very same day Naruto had been born 6 years ago. Minato was apologetic about not being there to celebrate with his son, but Naruto said having a little sister to spoil would be the best present that he could ever have. Sadly for Naruto, it was a present he would never receive. January 3, 066. It was the first day of the academy, yet Naruto had no desire to be there. In truth, he had no desire to be anywhere. Everything had been taken from him. His father? Dead. Skewered to death by the rampaging nine-tailed fox's claw right before completing the 8 trigrams seal. His mother? Also dead. Skewered right alongside her husband. His younger sister? 3 makes a morbid hat trick. Murdered just moments after birth by some unknown masked man. What was left? A husk of a once happy child with only memories and his parents' final words to continue off of. Flashback. There was an attack by a demon. There was a 9-tailed fox, taller than the Hokage Tower, that was rampaging through town, destroying everything in its path. He knew that much, but he was in the Hokage Tower, all alone. While his mother and father had left to have his sister, he was left with the 3rd Hokage, a kind, grandfatherly old man that would watch him from time to time. But he had to leave to deal with the attack, so now, he was alone again. Unknowing as to what was really going on or where his father was. Soon after, those questions he had would be answered. His father had teleported to him with tears streaming down his face, grabbed him, and teleported back out without a word. Before he could recover from that surprise, he had been brought in front of the biggest fox he'd ever seen in his entire life. 9 raging tails flailing around in the sky, furious red eyes, and a thick coat of orange fur. Naruto's father placed him in a ring of what seemed like nonsensical symbols to him, and told him to not move a single inch, before his father flashed away, coming back less than a second later with his mother. He watched as his exhausted mother, her face also streaked with tears, and visibly exhausted, wrapped the massive fox in massive, golden chains made of pure chakra and held it down. He watched as his father ran through seals at the fastest speed he'd ever seen in his entire life. Though, it didn't seem as though the fox appreciated what his father was doing. It fought back against the chains and fiercely. Had he been able to count his father's seals, he would have counted 93 before the fox managed to get free enough to lunge out at him. Naruto just sat frozen again in horror, his eyes squeezed shut in preparation for his own death, but no death claimed him. Opening his eyes slightly again was enough to make him fall to his knees. Both his parents, together, were skewered on the claw of this massive fox. Yet his father, ever the persistent one, kept going through seals as his mother began to talk. Naruto, listen to me, she wheezed out, coughing blood onto herself and Naruto. Don't be a picky eater, eat a lot, and grow big and strong. Mom. Go to bed early and sleep well. Study hard on your ninjutsu. I was never very good at it, but maybe you will be. MOM. Everyone is good at some things and not so good at others, so if things don't go so well, don't get depressed. At the academy, listen to your teachers. MOM. What's happening? Just listen to me. Kushina yelled back, continuing to sob. Please let me finish my last words to you. Mom, Naruto whispered, trying desperately to move his body to do something, anything, but he couldn't move at all. Make friends. It doesn't matter how many, just be sure they're ones you can really trust. A few is enough. Even if it's just Itachi, everyone needs at least one friend. Regarding the 3 prohibitions of shinobi. Kushina Minato wheezed out, coughing out blood of his own. We're running out of time. No drinking until you're 20. Find a good girl that you love, Naruto. And be careful with money. She rushed quickly, body racking with coughs and sobs. And I love you. So much more than you could ever imagine, Naruto. I love you. Naruto. Listen to me, Minato said, holding the 150th seal. I'm sorry that I failed in getting you your sister. She was killed by a strange man wearing a mask. I need you to tell this to the 3rd. Someone ripped the fox out of your mother and used him to attack the village. They said Madara. I will not be sealed into a brat. The fox roared, trying desperately to get out of its chains. Get along with the fox, Naruto, Minato looked with pleading eyes. Minato, what are you saying? That creature, Kushina gasped. Let me finish, Kushina, he yelled back. If anyone can stop this, it's you, Naruto. I want you to forgive the fox. Don't live with this hatred. Don't succumb to it. It wasn't his fault. Only you can control this power, Naruto, my son. Naruto continued to cry, though if you weren't facing him, you'd never know. His entire body was still except for his breathing while tears streamed down his face like a small river. It's time. 8 trigram sealing method. Minato called, finishing the 151st hand seal. Damn you, 4th Hokage! Damn you! The fox roared as it was sucked into Naruto's stomach, who shot backward at the impact and struck the ground a few meters away, falling unconscious, never to hear his father's final words. I love you, Naruto, my son. Flashback end. Ever since that day, his life had hit an all-time low. He went from being loved by the village to being openly abused. He lived alone in his parents' house and used funds from his father's old bank account, which was managed by the newly reinstated 3rd Hokage until he was old enough. Almost no store would let him purchase anything, so his ability to buy clothes, food, and equipment was limited to the Uchiha compound, which only let him in because he was best friends with Itachi. His simple act of walking through the street was met with jeers, glares, insults, and small objects like rocks or bottles thrown at him. They called him names like Demon Brat, accused him of murdering their loved ones and his own father, and wished for him to disappear. The 3rd Hokage didn't exactly have a whole lot of choice left, so he ordered the fact of Naruto's Jinchuriki status to be left a secret, punishable by death. This meant that the children were to be taught that the 4th killed the fox in battle, rather than sealed it into his only living child. Ever since that day, his own birthday, Naruto rarely spoke to anyone. In fact, if it weren't for Itachi, he would have been out of practice and wallowing away in his own sorrow. Instead, he spent all of his free time training. He would wake up, eat, train some more, eat, train even harder, be forced to stop by Itachi before he accidentally killed himself from overtraining, eat, get some last-minute training in, wash up, and go to bed, before doing it all again the next day. Now he had to go to the academy, which he had finally arrived at the doors of, where Itachi stood with his father, Fugaku, waiting for him. Naruto, Itachi greeted him. It's good to see you. Itachi. Mr. Uchiha, he greeted quietly. Naruto, Fugaku replied, nodding slightly, before turning back to Itachi. Remember, Itachi. You're the pride and joy of the Uchiha clan. I expect great things to come from you. Of course, father, Itachi bowed before turning back to Naruto. Shall we head inside? Naruto said nothing but nodded. Itachi wore a high-collared blue shirt with the Uchiha crest on the back, wore his black hair straight back with bangs hanging down to his eyes, and had deep, pitch-black eyes. Naruto had Uzumaki red hair that kept its usual spike, reminiscent of the late Minato, and wore a black t-shirt with an Uzumaki swirl on the back. The two boys entered the classroom together, Naruto finding a seat at the back as quickly as possible, and Itachi coming along beside him, as the rest of the class filled in over the next 10 or so minutes. Soon, an adult entered the room full of young ninja hopefuls and began to introduce himself. He was a bit pudgy, had his headband on a bandana that covered his entire head, and wore the standard-issue Chunin uniform. My name is Daikoku Funino and I'll be your primary Chunin instructor for your first 3 years at the academy, but you may refer to me as Daikoku-sensei, he introduced, before moving on to discuss what was going to happen. Essentially, the standard graduation for students during peacetime was to occur after 6 years, however, with a recommendation, they could test out early. They would cover a brief history of Konoha and its many influential ninja, some of the most influential ninja from other nations, basic exercises, basic taijutsu forms, basic weapons training, basic genjutsu training, and basic ninjutsu training, in addition to various other topics such as language skills, mathematics, and the like. Now that we've covered all of that, I'll begin taking Anko Mitarashi is in the building and ready to kick some major ass. A female voice announced, loudly kicking open the door, as a young girl entered. She had purple hair that was held up in a high ponytail, light brown eyes that held no pupil, and she wore a red t-shirt and a backpack. You're very late, Miss Mitarashi. Go find an empty seat while I continue to take roll, the instructor scolded. Oh, don't get your pudgy panties in a twist. If you're just now taking roll, I didn't miss squat. She waved him off and strode proudly to the seats, ignoring the stares from the rest of the class. She saw 2 open seats, one near a group of girls that looked very friendly and one near the back of the class next to a redhead who looked like he wanted to be anywhere but here. Her choice was obvious. How's it going, Red and Broody? Anko greeted cheerily, sitting down to Naruto's right as Itachi peered at her curiously from his other side. Naruto said nothing but looked at her, tilting his head slightly as if trying to figure her out. Take a picture, it might last longer, she winked, trying to tease him. What about you, Dark Eyes? You got anything to say? Your name is Anko, isn't it? Itachi asked. The one and only. I see. I'm Itachi Uchiha, he introduced. This is Naruto Uzumaki. Fancy and Uchiha. What's up with Red and Broody here? Cat got his tongue? Anko Mitarashi. The instructor called. What? She called back. Not what? When I call your name during roll, say here or present. Yes, sir, slave driver, sir. Anko saluted sarcastically, earning a few chuckles. The instructor sighed but kept taking roll. You have a strange way of interacting with Daikoku-sensei, Itachi commented. You should show him more respect. He is our sensei. Respect is earned, Itachi, Naruto said softly. Don't give it to others so easily. Oh, so he can talk, Anko teased. You gonna talk to me? You are peculiar, Naruto told her. I'll take that as a compliment, she grinned. I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship. Itachi stared at her for a moment, while Naruto put his forehead on the desk and tried to repress a groan. This was going to be a long year. Time skip February 18th, 066. Come on, please. Please. Pretty please. Anko begged, following Naruto out of the academy. It had been like this for a while. Ever since she learned that she, by complete accident, befriended the 2 most talented students in class, by miles, she had been begging one or both of them to train her. That was 2 weeks ago. Itachi was normally not one to refuse, but he was unable to accept as he had developed a terrible disease that plagued people like him for as long as the academy had existed. Fangirls. Had he actually accepted to help Anko, he would have likely been mobbed by his fan club with demands of their own, or Anko would have been mobbed for taking their precious Itachi away from them. Thus, Naruto was Anko's target. No. Come on. You're so good at everything and can teach me. Please? Are you trying to flatter me in order to get me to accept? I thought you tried that last week. Doesn't hurt to try again, Anko mumbled, silently cursing her failure to try and butter up his ego. If there was one thing she believed, it was that all men had an ego. Somehow, Naruto didn't recognize his yet. There was only one last thing to try. Look, how about this? You train me and I'll stop hanging around you and Itachi all the time. That sound okay? I can just be your student. What? Naruto did a double take and stopped, looking at her in confusion. It's not hard to read, okay? She snapped. I know you don't like me and neither does anyone else, though that might be because I hang out with Itachi more than the other girls, so I'll leave you alone if you train me. You just seemed lonely, so I figured I'd hang out with you, but if you really don't want me around then I'll leave. Naruto looked at her for a long moment before closing his eyes and sighing. He was going to regret this. Fine. I'll help you. Yes. She cheered before turning to run off. I'll be the best student ever. Every day after school, okay? Anko? He stopped her. I'm sorry. I don't dislike you, okay? So don't. Don't what? She feigned ignorance. Naruto blushed and turned away. Don't stop hanging out with Itachi for such a stupid reason. Okay, I guess I'll just stop hanging out with you then, she sighed loudly and turned again, developing an evil smirk when he spoke again. Wait, that's not what I meant. Naruto fidgeted. I like having you around, okay? So you don't have to, you know. Of course you do. She grinned, turning around. I knew it the whole time. What? Then what was all the Naruto flailed his hands wildly while Anko just laughed. I played you like a fiddle, Red and Broody. You may act all quiet but you're way too nice to just let me think you hate me, aren't you? Anko laughed again when he turned an even darker shade of red and turned away. Gotcha. You didn't get anyone. Yes, I did. I got the ever-quiet Naruto Uzumaki to admit he actually loves having me around. I didn't say that. Sure you did. Oh man. I gotta tell Itachi. She raced off to find him. Itachi. You've gotta hear this. Anko. Shut up. I did not say that. Naruto shouted and began chasing after her. Time skip April 20th, 066. I'm so tired, Anko moaned, lying face up on the ground, panting desperately. Can we please take a break yet? You are the worst student I've ever had. Naruto shook his head, smirking. I'm the only student you've ever had, she pointed out. And that's so not fair. You cannot be human with how much stamina you have. I think you're just weak. I am not weak, she protested weakly. I'll prove it, he said and sat on her stomach facing out to the training field, earning a grunt of pain from the purple-haired kunoichi. What the hell? She grunted, wiggling. Get off of me. If you can't get me off you, then you're weak, he explained, grinning all the while. 2 months had passed since Anko asked for Naruto's help with training and she'd come rather far. Initially, the only things she knew were absolutely nothing. She lived at the orphanage and hadn't really made any friends, so, with nothing but the dream of becoming a ninja and the clothes on her back, she joined the academy. Naruto had forced her to spend the first month doing only exercising, saying he wouldn't train someone with no stamina, speed, or strength, because it was a waste of his time. During that month, he continued to train himself as well, doing Anko's entire routine far before she could and then practicing other things, such as sparring with Itachi, practicing the few ninjutsu he got his hands on, and training with various weapons. The second month they'd worked on some taijutsu and weapons practice, with plenty more exercise to boot. She was improving rapidly, as most of the students, outside of clan children, were only just getting started learning the basic academy-style stances. Sparring with someone as fast as Naruto every day had its perks for her improvement, but it hurt like hell. About 2 hours every day, they'd spend training, before Anko would go home and Naruto would continue alone. Itachi joined them when he could, but he frequently trained with his father, Fugaku, in various Uchiha methods. Anko had managed to crack Naruto completely out of his shell around her, and Itachi she was still working on getting him to talk to other people. I don't think sitting on me proves anything other than you're an idiot, she demanded, desperately to get him off. It proves you can't lift me. I don't weigh that much, you know. I can't lift you because you spent the last half hour beating me up, Anko protested, finally getting some leverage. And we've been training every day all week. With a final grunt of effort, Naruto was thrown off, as Anko sat up panting even more. I'm still pretty weak. Damn it, Naruto! She shouted, tackling the redhead to the ground. Itachi watched from across the clearing, smiling slightly. He hadn't been able to do much for his friend, but Anko really had come through and brought him back. Naruto had always been full of life, loving to just goof around and have a good time whenever they weren't training, and it seems like that aspect was back in full force. Get back here! Not a chance, apricot, he teased, referencing one of the translations of her name. Maybe if you were a bit stronger you could catch up to me. Don't call me apricot, stupid fish cake, she roared, redoubling her efforts as Naruto continued to laugh. Itachi's sweat dropped. Maybe he should stop them before Anko tries to kill Naruto. Time skip November 26, 066. You're both what? Anko shouted. Itachi and I are taking the graduation exam, Naruto explained. Daikoku-sensei recommended us. He said that there was no point in us continuing. We're scoring as high as some of the 6th years, you know. It was true, Itachi was a one-of-a-kind prodigy at everything, and while Naruto wasn't quite up to his level of true, natural genius, he was very good at what he did and worked harder than anyone. Naruto was faster than every genin in the village and even the slower chunin. Combining that with his taijutsu skills and weaponry? The only one who could keep up with him was Itachi if he went all out, and that was only because he was used to the blonde's speed. Besides that, he had almost the highest chakra levels in the academy, and that included the instructors. Only the few jonin that were there, mostly on temporary assignments for reasons such as medical rehabilitation, surpassed his levels. Once he got some more individualized chakra control training and jutsu under his belt, he'd be quite a force to be reckoned with. Itachi had sizable reserves for his age, around genin level, and was even more proficient than Naruto in everything except taijutsu, and he only lost at that because of the redhead's natural speed. He was a promising up-and-comer at Genjutsu, knew the trademarked Grand Fireball Jutsu of the Uchiha clan, and scored the best in the class in the written work. "But you're just gonna leave me alone in the academy?" Anko demanded angrily. Really, she was just sad. She'd come to really like the two boys. They helped her get as far as she had. Starting as the class dead last for the first month or two of class, she quickly started to rise up to the middle of the pack, and was rapidly approaching the top, really only being completely overshadowed by the two of them. 9 months of training would do that to anyone, but now, after only 1 full year at the academy, she was going to be all by herself, just like at the orphanage. "It's a very good opportunity for us, Anko," Itachi reasoned. "I'm sure you'll graduate early as well. Besides, we'll come to visit you lots. I'm still helping you train, aren't I?" Naruto grinned. After about 4 months of training, Naruto declared that he was no longer her teacher, but someone she trained alongside, as she'd reached a level that was, as he referred to it, as no longer pathetic. "I guess," Anko sighed. "But still, that won't make it any less lonely." Naruto thought for a minute. "Itachi, should we?" "No, Naruto," Itachi shook his head. "This is a very good opportunity. We need to do the best we can in order to protect the village. That is a ninja's duty. Staying in the academy would hinder us and stunt our growth. Anko wouldn't want that, would you, Anko?" "What?" Anko began to sweat slightly at his pointed glare. Call her selfish, but she still didn't want them to leave. They were inseparable before, and now that was all being thrown away. "Oh, I have an idea!" Naruto exclaimed. "How about you move in with me?" "What?" Anko and even Itachi yelled. "Yeah, that's a great idea." Naruto nodded, not really realizing what he was asking nor his phrasing. "You always talk about how awful the orphanage is, and I still live at my parents' old house all by myself. How about you live there with me?" "Naruto, you have never been good with words," Itachi sighed. Anko didn't exactly know how to respond to that. "How about you rephrase that, Naruto?" the Uchiha suggested. "Perhaps use the term roommates to make Anko less uncomfortable?" "What else would I mean?" Itachi just slapped himself on the forehead. "Dense." "I mean, I don't really want to intrude," Anko hesitated. That actually did sound like a pretty good idea. Naruto was a lot of fun to hang out with, and living with him would kind of reverse her days. Rather than being lonely at home and looking forward to spending time at the academy and training with the two, she would spend the time at the academy and look forward to being at home with Naruto. "It'll be fine," he waved her off. "Just that I can't cook." "Are you trying to make me your personal chef or something?" she demanded. "Well, no, but I figured you shouldn't be expecting me to cook much," Naruto admitted sheepishly. "Is that why we never eat at your house?" Itachi asked. Hey. "Well, I can't cook either," Anko sighed. "Well, you can learn to cook since you won't have to pay rent. The house is already paid for," he shrugged. "You are trying to make me your personal chef." "Wait. Damn it, Naruto!" Anko smacked him on the back of the head. "So do you want to live with me or not?" "Roommates!" Itachi and Anko yelled. "What's the difference?" Idiot, Itachi sighed. Why not?" Anko shrugged. "I'll just fake my own death at the orphanage and—" "No!" Naruto and Itachi shouted. "Relax, I was kidding," she lied. "Just go get all your stuff and meet me here and we can go," Naruto suggested. "And what makes you think I have so little stuff I can just run and get it, huh?" "Anko, we're 7 years old and you live at an orphanage," Itachi said. "I don't think that's an unreasonable assumption." "Point taken," Anko grumbled. "I'll be right back." Sure enough, Anko had a bag of clothes and some toiletries in it, that's it. So, the trio headed to Naruto's place to move Anko in as a roommate, which was a very important specification by Itachi. "Well, here we are," Naruto sighed after a short walk, gazing sadly at his house. He never liked coming here. In truth, he was going to ask Anko to move in with become his roommate anyway. It was so painful living in those hollow hallways that were once filled with his parents' joy. He hadn't seen Kakashi since he'd only met his godfather Jiraiya once, and he was too young to really remember it. Kami knows why he never came back to look after him, and the old man only stopped to visit about once a week. "Wow, this really is a nice place," Anko commented. It wasn't overly big or small, just a quaint 2-story family-style home painted a light blue with a front garden and a porch. Naruto gave a quick tour. The ground level had the kitchen, the dining room, a half-bathroom, a sitting room, a study, and what looked to be some sort of an indoor gym. The second floor was where the bedrooms were. His room was the master bedroom, which he had moved into shortly after his parents' death, desperate for some semblance of continued connection to them. Aside from that, there was a guest bedroom where Anko was to stay, which had its own closet and bathroom, a second room that was permanently locked, and Naruto said nothing of what it was other than to not go in there unless she wanted to be kicked out, and another sitting room. I guess you can stay in the sitting room when you stay over, Itachi. Or you can stay in mine. I have enough space for a futon, Naruto told him. And you're really sure I can stay here? Anko asked, still kind of amazed at the place. As long as she could remember, she'd been an orphan, never knowing, or frankly caring, who her parents were. Yeah. It'll be nice to have some company, Naruto smiled. Well then, thanks. Anko gave him a quick, slightly embarrassed hug, and then quickly headed off to her room. I'll be going as well, Naruto, Itachi informed him. I'll see you tomorrow for our test. Yeah, good luck, the redhead held up a fist. To you as well, the Uchiha agreed, bumping his fist with his own. How the heck does this shower work? Anko yelled. Good luck living with Anko. Perhaps you should have thought this through more, Itachi smirked slightly. Anko stuck her head out of her room. And we're getting dango for dinner, yeah, here. You're paying as a housewarming gift. That's not how housewarming gifts work, Naruto sighed, trudging off to deal with Anko's whims. And they're normally for people getting their own house anyway. March 1st, 067. First up is Taijutsu. Daikoku-sensei announced to the two 7-year-olds. Each of you will spar with me and attempt to land 5 clean hits within 5 minutes. Yes, Daikoku-sensei, both Itachi and Naruto answered, bowing slightly. Itachi was first. He entered the ring with his sensei and got into his standard Uchiha Taijutsu stance. At Daikoku-sensei's signal, the young Uchiha heir quickly dashed forward and began launching a chain of attacks. While the standard Uchiha Taijutsu style focuses heavily on counterstrikes, this was a case where Itachi needed to initiate the conflict. He focused on maneuvering his sensei into positions where he was forced to block in order to catch him off balance long enough to land 1 or more clean hits. Itachi was able to successfully land all 5 strikes within the first 3 minutes. Next up was Naruto. The Uzumaki had a different style, utilizing his incredible speed to quickly overwhelm the defenses of Daikoku-sensei. Focusing on jabs and angled palm thrusts, Naruto scored his 5 hits in only 2. Very good, Daikoku panted slightly, wincing. Naruto had gotten quite a serious hit that may leave a bruise on his ribs for a few days. Next is ninjutsu. Each of you is required to complete 2 tasks from the following list. Perform the 3 basic academy jutsu, those being clone jutsu, replacement jutsu, and the henge. Perform 1 jutsu of C rank or higher, or successfully complete the surface clinging exercise. Once again, Itachi was first. He chose to perform the 3 academy basics and his own C rank jutsu. Clone jutsu, Itachi announced, forming 4 identical clones around him after utilizing the hand seals ram snake tiger. Good, now the replacement? Daikoku-sensei nodded, checking off a box. Replacement jutsu. The main body of Itachi was quickly switched with a nearby log that had been placed there for purposes of the test. For this one, he was able to complete the technique with no hand seals, something that was highly recommended for all ninja to master. Very impressive. Now the henge. Please transform into Lord Hokage. Henge, Itachi spoke simply, completing the seal's dog boar ram, and transforming his appearance to look nigh indistinguishable from Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 4th Hokage. Well done. And finally, your C-rank jutsu. Fire style, Grand Fireball Jutsu. Itachi shouted, quickly sealing Snake Ram Monkey Boar Horse Tiger, inhaling until his chest puffed out, and releasing a fireball the size of the sparring ring. Incredible! Daikoku-sensei should have known better than to be surprised by now, but he still was. I've seen weaker fireball jutsus from ninja twice your age. Thank you, sensei. Itachi bowed and switched places with Naruto, fist-bumping him on his way back. Alright, Naruto. Which 2 would you like to complete? The clone can be any type, right, sensei? Naruto asked. Well, yes, I suppose so. Then I'll do the 3 academy basics and a C-rank jutsu like Itachi, the redhead said. He formed a cross seal with his hands and announced, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Amazing! Where did you learn that? Daikoku asked in shock. The Shadow Clone was a forbidden B-rank technique that required Jonin-level chakra reserves to utilize efficiently, and without serious danger. And that was just for forming 1. It was a gift from Kakashi before my parents passed away, the real Naruto answered sadly before shaking his head and continuing. Replacement jutsu. Henge. At the same time, his main body was replaced with the log, also without seals. His shadow clone performed the henge and transformed into Daikoku-sensei. Remarkable, the both of you, the Chunin instructor said, shaking his head in amazement. Alright, now we'll head back inside for the genjutsu and written portions. Wait, what about my C rank? Naruto asked, dispelling his clone. The shadow clone jutsu is a B rank forbidden jutsu. That more than qualifies, Daikoku-sensei explained. I thought I told you that earlier? Itachi questioned, walking aside the redhead towards the academy. Don't tell me you forgot already. Nah, just wanted to hear him say how impressive it was. Naruto gave a smug smirk while Itachi sighed. I'll make sure to tell Anko you're getting a swelled head. Immediately, Naruto went pale. Anko did not like arrogance at all. Which was weird, considering how she carries herself, not that they would ever tell her that. Let's go, we still have 2 more portions to go. Time skip. Well? Did ya pass? Anko asked the 2 boys impatiently as she was finally let out for the final day that year. What do you think? Naruto flashed a grin and held up his leaf headband. Of course we did. I believe we performed adequately, Itachi nodded, holding his own headband up with a smile. Alright. Let's go get Dango to celebrate. Anko cheered. And you 2 are buying. Wait, we're the ones who graduated. Why should we have to pay? Naruto whined. TSK, 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 the purplenet scolded. There's a very simple explanation for that. You should both learn this lesson well, it's the most important one you'll ever learn, gotcha? Even Itachi seemed reasonably intrigued by what she was going to say. It's because I'm a woman, Anko announced confidently, causing Naruto and Itachi to fall over comically as she walked away. Now come on. Dango awaits. March 11th, 067. Well, you 3 seem different, their sensei deadpanned, looking at his 3 potential genin disciples. I guess we should introduce ourselves, huh? Damn it, Lord Third, why'd I have to get stuck with these 3? You realize, we can still hear you, right? The oldest of the 3 responded. There was no real annoyance behind the question, more so he was just stating a fact. Unfortunately, their sensei sighed again. Well, alright, here goes. I'm Kenzo, so you may call me Kenzo-sensei until further notice. I'm 28 years old and a master of leaf-style kenjutsu. My father was killed in the Second Shinobi War, and I fought several battles in the tail end of the Third Shinobi War. I enjoy kenjutsu spars, drinking with my war buddies, and a good lay. I don't like whiny brats, doing more work than necessary, and other people messing with my swords. My dream for the future is to die honorably in battle rather than in a shoddy old hospital room and to find a worthy apprentice to pass on my swordsmanship to. Frankly, none of you look the part. Well, he seems nice, Naruto grumbled. Well then, smart mouth, why don't you go next, Kenzo said, looking straight at Naruto. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the redhead introduced. I'm 7 years old and I specialize in high-speed taijutsu. I like spending time with Itachi and Anko, training, and eating ramen and dango. I dislike people who judge others and people who spend their lives stuck in the past. I don't know what I want to do with my future yet. I guess I'd like to live up to my father's expectations of me and make sure that everyone I love is safe. Thrilling, Kenzo sighed. Uchiha, you next. My name is Itachi Uchiha. I'm also 7 years old and I specialize in genjutsu and fire-style ninjutsu. I enjoy training, spending time with friends and family, and thinking on various existential questions that we've yet to answer. I dislike arrogance, laziness, foolishness, and fangirls. My dream for the future is simple. I wish to live my life protecting the leaf. So, we've got some dreaming youngsters with a weird vocabulary, their sensei drawled. Alright, last one. Least this one's old enough to be worth it. I'm Hate Gecko, the eldest boy spoke. He had short brown hair that was covered by his leaf headband in a bandana style, leaving a small patch of bangs to hang over the middle of his face. In addition, he had notable lines under his eyes, wore the standard-issue genin outfit, and had a katana on his back. I'm 12 years old. I don't specialize in anything yet, but I'd like to become a master of kenjutsu. I like kenjutsu, tea houses, and my best friend Yugao. I dislike people who make fun of my eyes or and people who think kenjutsu is not worth learning about. My dream is to become a master of leaf-style, kenjutsu. Well, that was interesting. If your file didn't warn me about that, I'd send you home on illness, Kenzo sighed again. This really was not his day. Alright, well, now that I know who you are, we'll see if you're worth training. And don't think just because I want an apprentice and you want a master means this gives you any better of a chance. You're still not my genin yet. I'm not sure I follow, Itachi questioned. Is this because we graduated early? Man, what's with kids these days and those dead eyes, he grumbled. No, that's not it. Graduating from the academy just means you aren't totally hopeless. You may have noticed that the test was rather easy, and apparently the civilian council is frequently making requests to make it easier so their children have a chance at graduating. Once you do graduate, you get put onto temporary squads where you have another test. So, this is where we are tested to see if we actually become ninja, rather than whether or not we're lost causes. Is that it? Naruto asked. Least you're observant for brats, Kenzo nodded. That's right. All teams will have their tests bright and early tomorrow morning, well, all teams but you. I have a standing appointment with a lady friend and don't feel like getting up that early, so we'll have your test now. Something tells me he's going to be a really bad influence, Naruto deadpanned, earning a slight nod from Itachi. Alright, head over to the third training ground. If I have to wait longer than 5 minutes, you all head back to the academy. Now scram! Time skip. Lucky you, but unlucky for me, Kenzo sighed. I knew I should have made the time shorter. Kenzo-sensei, we ran at full speed, Itachi replied, panting slightly. I think you beating us here by 3 minutes isn't that bad. You also didn't tell us where the training ground was, so we had to find it ourselves, coughed Hate. Yeah, well, Red made it here 2 minutes before you too. I have a name and I told you earlier speed is my specialty, Naruto deadpanned. Yeah, whatever. Alright, I'm supposed to have some fancy test to test you on ninja skills or something, Kenzo shrugged noncommittally. But I don't really care about any of that shit. Just show teamwork, skill, and don't be total idiots, and I'll consider passing you. What exactly is our test, Kenzo-sensei? Itachi asked. Right, Kenzo thought for a minute. How about this? You have, I don't know, an hour to disarm me without any of you being disabled. That seems rather simple, the Uchiha pointed out. Are you sure that's it? Simple, huh? Kenzo grinned, drawing forth a brilliantly shining katana. I'll have you know that I haven't been disarmed once since the Third Shinobi War. You have quite the task on your hands, I tell ya. Are there any rules to this test? Naruto asked, glancing at Itachi slightly. Let's see, you all have to work together, I think, Kenzo hummed. All of you have to be conscious before, during, and after disarming me, on the off chance that you actually succeed, and you can't leave the training ground for any reason. So, as long as you lose your katana we pass? Itachi questioned. Man, what's with all the questions, Kenzo groaned. Yes, now start. Quickly, Hate shot off into the trees while Itachi and Naruto just stood there looking at him. What are you two doing? I said start, their sensei said. I believe you overestimate this test's difficulty, Itachi sighed. Naruto? Replacement jutsu, Naruto announced, switching places with their sensei's katana. Itachi walked over and picked up the weapon and just stood there looking at their sensei, who was now standing there in shock while holding on to Naruto's shirt. Does this mean we pass, sensei? A thud sounded behind them, which turned out to be Hate falling out of the tree laughing and coughing. Time skip. Ha 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 ha. Anko was collapsed onto the floor of their kitchen, holding her stomach while she laughed. Oh, that's just too good. You should have seen the old man's face when Kenzo-sensei had to submit his test report. It was something between disappointed, impressed, and amused at the same time, Naruto chuckled. Anko really made this less boring. That's rich. Anko continued to cackle on the ground as she laughed. Didn't he try to make up an excuse on why not to pass you? Yeah. His reason was one of the rules was that we all had to work together, and he tried to claim Hate didn't help. And? We said that he was the distraction. Ah. With that, Anko was gone again, back to the land of pure and unadulterated laughter. April 3rd, 067. Almost a month of this. How do they even qualify as missions? It's just manual labor. Naruto groaned. And how could one person possibly lose a cat so much? That's just not realistic. One's illusion may be another's reality, Naruto, Itachi told him. I have absolutely no idea what that means. Doesn't Anko start at the academy again today? The Uchiha asked, once again changing the subject. Yeah, which is why this special training you got hooked up for us better be quick. I don't want to be late meeting her on the first day. Naruto shivered slightly. Anko can be terrifying. You're the one who offered to be her roommate. That is entirely beside the point. The redhead sighed. Anyway, what exactly is this training anyway? My father believes that I should meet another Uchiha who is 5 years my senior and begin training with him. Supposedly, he is rather gifted in similar areas to us. His genjutsu is extremely powerful, he has knowledge of all Uchiha clan fire-style ninjutsu, and he is beginning to gain a reputation as Shursui the teleporter. I think I've heard of him before, Naruto mused, thinking for a moment. Oh yeah? He's the one that's trying to use the flying thunder god of my father by using the body flicker, right? I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's attempting to do, but yes, you have the right person, Itachi nodded. After a bit longer of walking, the duo reached the Uchiha training grounds, where a young teen was waiting for them. He had on the same Uchiha-style high-collared shirt, a tanto strapped to his back, and a leaf headband over his forehead. He even had lines under his eyes that looked rather similar to Itachi's own. He looks like your twin, Naruto whispered as they approached him. He is rather similar. Hey, you're Itachi, right? Shursui greeted. Fugaka told me you'd be here. I'm Shursui. I wasn't told about you, redhead. What's your name? I'm Naruto Uzumaki, Itachi's best friend, the Uzumaki replied, shaking the young ninja's hand. Oh, right, I remember you. You're Lord Fourth's kid. Shursui grinned. Well, if Itachi says it's alright, I have no problems working with both of you. That's what I was going to request. If you'll accept both of us to train with, I'd appreciate it, Itachi bowed. Sounds good to me. Let's see what the two of you have got. Shursui grinned. June 6, 067. ZZZZ Dango ZZZZ stabbing ZZZZ my Dango Anko snored from the couch as Naruto was trying to focus. I swear, Naruto groaned, slamming his forehead on the table. How am I supposed to learn any of this with all of that noise? Kenzo-sensei had finally begun to warm up to the trio of genin and was actually training them. Hade had impressed him with his dedication to Kenjutsu and was officially made his apprentice, thus got most of Kenzo's attention, but Itachi and Naruto were given separate tasks to focus on when he wasn't with them. That, in addition to the immense help they got from Shursui, who they quickly became exceptionally close friends with, made their progress continue at an impressive rate. Naruto was given a basic book on sealing techniques, as, according to Kenzo-sensei, the Uzumaki clan were world-renowned Fuinjutsu specialists. It turned out, however, that the entire world wasn't wrong and the practice was, as Kenzo-sensei described, harder than the male populace after a new volume of Ika Ika came out. Needless to say, Naruto was struggling with his studies and the snoring of Anko was not helping. ZZZZ Naruto the redhead perked up at this. Potential blackmail was always welcomed. ZZZ target practice ZZZZZ he ZZZZ red-headed porcupine. Naruto gained an annoyed tick mark on his forehead and stomped over to the sleeping academy student, hoisted her over his shoulder, and proceeded upstairs to unceremoniously dump her in bed before slamming the door closed and stomping back downstairs as she continued to snore. ZZZ Itachi helped ZZZ Naruto's getting away ZZZZZZ. Returning to the book on sealing, Naruto continued to read and practice long into the night. First, he had to start learning all the symbols and designs, as well as what they did. Then he had to learn how to write them. Now, this sounds easy, but it wasn't just learning how to write them, no. He had to learn to write them perfectly. It's like tracing a drawing but by memory, and the drawing was painted by a drunk mathematician who lost a dare and had to invent new shapes. That's not even mentioning that it wasn't a drawing of anything specific and there were hundreds of them that all did different things by themselves, let alone when they were connected to each other, so yeah, it was hard. 4 hours later, Naruto fell asleep, snoring just as Anko had earlier that evening. Naruto's mindscape. The redhead woke up in a shallow puddle of water, but was, oddly enough, still completely dry, though he had no idea where he was or how he got there. Where the hell, Naruto grumbled, trying to rub the sleep out of his eyes. If this is a prank by Anko. He looked around trying to get his bearings, but the only things he could see made everything more confusing, rather than more easily understood. The walls were lined with strange piping and the ceilings dripped water. There were hallways everywhere, but each one seemed to just go to some dark and unknown abyss. That was, of course, until a loud growl began to echo throughout the tunnels. It bounced off the walls with a hollow and demonic timbre, sending a slight shiver down his spine. Why am I walking towards whatever made that noise? This is the worst idea I've ever had. I really should stop. This is terrible. Naruto continued to ramble quickly to himself as he continued to follow the hallways towards that terrifying growl. None of it really made sense, It was more of a confused babble to acknowledge to himself that he didn't understand why he was doing what he was doing, just that he understood that he was doing it. Until that is, Naruto reached a very large room. In the middle of the room was what looked like a massive prison cell, with ornately decorated gates holding thick bars of what was likely some sort of steel. In the center, there was a mauve sheet of paper stuck over where he assumed the two gates met, which had a symbol on it. He recognized it as it meant seal in the Fuinjutsu language. "Don't tell me," Naruto whispered, eyes widening as he seemed to finally realize where he was. "So," the deep voice spoke, the tone gravelly and angered. "My jailer comes to visit me, does he? Very well, human. What do you want with me, and what will it take for you to leave me to my slumber?" "You're," Naruto whispered. "The nine-tailed fox." "An observant one," the fox answered sarcastically. Naruto watched as a single, massive, red-slitted eye opened in the murky darkness of the cage. "If you're simply here to gawk at me like some street performance, leave my presence." You're the one who attacked my village," Naruto said softly. "And killed both of my parents. And? Killing worthless humans is a pastime of mine. Your sob story does not amuse me." "But I don't feel angry." The fox raised an eyebrow at this. "Is it because of what my father said? Is what he said true?" "I find speaking with worthless humans boring, though I will say that even if I didn't, I have no idea what you're talking about," the fox grumbled. "My father, he said that it wasn't your fault. That you didn't mean to attack the village and someone forced you to. He told me that he wanted me to forgive you and to stop the hatred, but I didn't really know what he meant." Naruto spoke again. "Do you understand? I think he wanted you to give me your body so I may tear apart your flesh and kill everyone you hold dear." "For a fox, you aren't very clever," Naruto deadpanned. The fox growled in response but said nothing. "So now what? You either grant me access to destroy that worthless village and all the humans in it, or you leave me alone in peace. Is that what you want? Just to stay locked away in this cage sleeping?" "I already told you what I want." "You know what I mean," Naruto sighed, sitting down. "Gah. This is confusing. I'm talking to the creature actually. What exactly are you?" "I'm the nine-tailed demon fox. QB." "Right, I know that, but like what is that exactly? Creature sounds demeaning, monster sounds even worse, and you aren't really a fox probably." "You really are stupid, you know that?" The fox grinned slightly at the shout of "hey" from the boy. This one was interesting to him, much more so than those other two who simply told him to stay put and stay silent. "I'm the Nine-Tails, one of the nine-tailed beasts in the world." "And what exactly does that mean?" Naruto chuckled sheepishly. "I don't really know anything about that. Humans really are still just as stupid. I'm 7 years old. We tailed beasts are conscious constructs made out of pure chakra," the fox explained. "And I, the QB, am the strongest of all of them. My so-called siblings are weaklings in comparison." "Well, that's pretty cool, I guess. So is it like your power is based on your tails or something like that?" "You're observant for a whelp." "Gee, thanks," Naruto deadpanned. "So, how exactly did you come about?" "What?" "Well, chakra doesn't just get consciousness out of nowhere, right? Where did yours come from?" "Why would I tell some lowly human such as yourself?" "I was just trying to make conversation, sheesh." The fox said nothing, but huffed in annoyance. "So, how much longer must you disturb my slumber, foolish human? I could rip the flesh and meat from your bones before you could so much as scream." "What's your point?" "So could most of the jonin in our village," Naruto shrugged. "I figure we should work something out, right?" "And what does that mean, human?" "Well, we're stuck with each other, right? If I let you out, you'll kill a bunch of innocent people. And you'll die." Again with the not clever thing. "You could have just tried to get me to believe you'd leave my village alone and I might have let you out. What need have I to do something like that? I'm the ultimate being, the nine-tailed fox. I can simply devour you." "Right, anyway, that kinda means we're stuck together. Shouldn't we work something out that's mutually beneficial? What could you possibly offer me in exchange for the power of the strongest being in all of the world? This is a mindscape, not a physical place, anyway, so even if you had something I could feasibly desire, you could not give it to me." "Wait, this is a mindscape? Where did you think you were?" Point taken, Naruto thought for a moment. "Well, for starters, how about I get rid of this stupid sewer? It's rather revolting, I think." "Foolish human, you can't just." The fox was cut off by the piped walls slowly disappearing and the bars of the cage following suit. "What are you doing, human?" They're all done, Naruto announced as he opened his eyes again. Grinning at the giant fox who was now revealed in all his nine-tailed glory, the two looked around at a scarily accurate representation of the Hidden Leaf Village. How's this? It's better than that vile sewer, the fox grumbled. However, now that the cage is gone. Yeah, the cage was just a physical representation of the seal, you know. All I'm hearing is tear the meat from your bones. The fox roared, charging Naruto only to run face first into a ceiling array that surrounded the boy. See? I tried to tell you. I just changed your cage. I'm still outside of it, but I can make it into anything I want. Is this okay? This is acceptable, the fox huffed, trying not to be embarrassed at the fact that he ran face first into a wall. Awesome. So, does this mean we can be friends? Friends? I'm not sure I'm familiar with the concept. You know, it's hard to explain, Naruto scratched his head. It's sort of like we interact with each other and enjoy it, we support each other in doing things we want to do, and we help each other out. So, in other words, you want my power. Begone, human, I'm not interested in this strange deal you've invented to trick me. How do you not know what a friend is? Aren't you inside my mindscape? I'm sealed inside of you, foolish human. What do you think, I'm just allowed access to your mind? I'd take it over if I was and destroy the world. You're really unnecessarily violent, you know that? I'm the nine-tailed fox, the strongest being in the world. You said that already, Naruto sighed. But you don't know what a friend is. I guess I'll have to show you then, won't I? If this is what my dad wanted, then I'll try extra hard. If you wish to try to pull your tomfoolery over me, human, you may certainly try. Just know the moment you slip up, I'll be there to devour you whole. Right, of course, Naruto waved him off. Anyway, how do I come back here to talk to you? Oh, it's rather simple. Really? You don't? Outside. Ah! Naruto shouted as he suddenly shot awake. Wait, Anko, what are you doing? Anko chuckled awkwardly. Nothing? Sure enough, as Naruto shot awake from his meeting with the fox, he opened his eyes to Anko, whose face was about 2 inches from his own. EW. Were you gonna kiss? Idiot. Anko slammed her fist over his head, blushing. I was gonna paint stuff on your face. Don't be gross. Ow, Naruto whined. That hurt. Well, don't say stupid stuff like that. Anko huffed. Well, sorry, wait, did you say you were gonna paint on my face? I gotta go. Hana is waiting for me, and if I didn't leave so now bell it bye. She said quickly and raced off out of the house. Damn it, Anko. Naruto groaned and left to go check his face to make sure she didn't get anything on his face. Well, at least I woke up before she started anyway. What the heck was up with the fox? Is he bipolar or something? He kept shifting from bored to angry and even was relatively friendly occasionally, and he didn't even try to trick me. Naruto? The redhead heard coming from outside as a knocking sound came from the door. Anko just took off, are you alright? I'll be out in a minute, Itachi. Naruto yelled. I'll deal with the fox later. I guess he doesn't seem that bad when he's not in a bloodthirsty mood. Maybe you were right, Dad. Maybe we can be friends. October 10th, 067. Damn it, where is he? Anko demanded, stomping around the house. I spent all this time getting everyone together, and he thinks he can just skip it? Well, he's got another thing coming if he thinks that. I told you already, Anko, Naruto likely wouldn't be home today, Itachi told her. That's what happened last year. He spent the entire day at the graveyard. Well, I'm going to get him then. We're celebrating his birthday and that's that, damn it. I didn't invite everyone for nothing. Anko complained as she stormed off. She does realize that we're the only ones here, right? Itachi asked the other two. And that you are her friend and have never met Naruto before? I'm just here for the cake, the girl, named Hana Inuzuka, shrugged. I just hope Naruto forgives me for letting her out like this, Itachi sighed. Meanwhile, Naruto's mindscape. You did some redecorating, Naruto observed, glancing around at the pile of smoldering rubble that was once the Leaf Village. Oh, this? It's been like this since the last time you came. I've only been here once. Why do you think you're here again? I want you to rebuild it so I can destroy it again. Chop chop, human. You realize what today is, right? Naruto said sadly. Today is the day that you were sent to attack us and the day you killed my parents. And? You could try to be a little more sensitive, Kyubi, Naruto commented dejectedly. I know you don't care at all, but they were my parents. Whether I understand your reasons for killing them or not, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, okay? Didn't you have someone you cared about like that? Ever? TCH. Like I would tell you. I knew you would. Just try to think how you'd feel if I killed that special someone, even for good reason. I'd have you flayed and burned while rats and vultures devoured your innards and your soul was broiling in the Shinigami's stomach before you could even think about it, the fox growled, showing more anger and killing intent than he ever had before. SC? Naruto shivered, which was impressive, considering how much killing intent was actually being thrown around. So you can understand a little of how I feel, right? I don't particularly feel that it's worth trying to understand how a human feels, but if you could reform my playpen for me, I will consider refraining. I appreciate that. Naruto let out a mirthless chuckle and started to reform the village. To think it's been 2 years since they died and here I am chuckling about it with their killer dad? Mom? Please forgive me. Now that's better, the fox declared, smirking evilly at the village. Well done, human. You may go now. Wait. I want to know how to come back here, Naruto protested. Why? I said last time. My father wished for me to end the hatred. I think he wanted us to be friends. And I told you that I don't believe in your human trickery. We had this discussion, human. Don't tell me your memory is really so weak. How about I show you what friendship is? Then you can rethink it. And how do you plan on doing that, human? This is my mind, right? I can do whatever I want here. So if I do this and add a little of that, we should get a moment later. A very large television started coming up from the ground. What in the blazes dash? There. Naruto panted lightly. Now you can watch my life whenever you get bored. Why on earth would I care about that? The fox deadpanned. It could be entertaining and you can learn about what being friends is about. I don't really have that many, but I have Itachi, Enko, and Shursui. They're my best friends ever. I guess Hate is my friend, too, and I have the old man and Kakashi wherever he is. You humans give out names so easily, the fox huffed. Does that mean you have a name? Worthless human, why would I even answer that question? I'll take that as a yes, Naruto grinned cheekily, earning a growl from the fox. Well, one day, you can tell me and then I'll call you by your name. It must get old being called Demon Fox all the time. Like you would have any idea. I can't pretend to understand you, Kyubi, but I can try. When we're friends, I'll do what I can to help you out. If. When. If. When. TCH, begone, human. Wait, how do I get back? You didn't tell me yet. Figure it out. The fox barked before expelling the redhead from his prison. Now, destruction time. Ahahaha. Outside. Naruto. Naruto. Enko called, searching all over the place. Damn it, where is he? Enko? Naruto asked, approaching the purple-haired academy student. What are you doing here? Idiot. I'm coming to get you. You've been here all day, it's time to come back. Enko scolded. I'd rather stay here if you don't mind, Naruto admitted quietly. I want to spend some more time with them. But today's your birthday. Is it? Oh yeah, I guess I forgot, he chuckled sheepishly. Idiot, that means come back to the house so we can celebrate. Enko groaned. I got everyone together, and you are not making me waste all that effort. Everyone? The old man? Heir. Tuchi? Hate? I am? Kakashi? Shursui? I don't really know any of them, so I brought Itachi and Hana, she chuckled awkwardly. Sorry. So you brought your friends over, he deadpanned. Hey. At least I tried. Sorry, I didn't mean that you didn't, Naruto sighed. Thanks. I appreciate you trying. Really, it means a lot to me. Whatever, now are you coming or not? Sure, I guess. You put a lot of effort into asking those 2 people to come over, didn't you? Shut up. Enko shouted. I don't suppose we could pick up some dango on the way back, do you? Naruto laughed and started walking. Enko, I don't know why I put up with you. They continued bickering lightly as they walked off towards town, either noticing the masked figure watching them from the nearby trees. At least he found someone. Sensei, I'll make it up to him someday, I swear. January 3rd, 068. Are you seriously this upset about going to the academy again? Naruto sighed. It's only your third year. So? You and Itachi graduated after just one. I bet you anything that it's because I'm a girl. Sexist assholes, Anko grumbled. Naruto just sighed again. The three friends were now 8 years old and Anko was starting her third year at the academy, while Itachi and Naruto were starting their second year as genin. Itachi, with some significant help from Shursui, managed to awaken his Sharingan some months ago on a rather precarious C-ranked mission and had become rather proficient in its use. His genjutsu was so potent that he was able to defeat nearly all genin, and even some chunin just by looking at them, as they weren't able to tell they were in an illusion fast enough. Alongside his genjutsu, Itachi was becoming much better with ninjutsu, and had his usual prodigious skill with shuriken, notably being able to hit targets around corners, walls, and under other obstacles. Hate, under Kenzo-sensei's direct tutelage, was getting much better with kenjutsu. Oddly enough, Itachi only had a mild interest in learning the basics, while Naruto had no interest whatsoever. It was largely because of this that Kenzo-sensei was closer to Hate than the other two, but he was still the weakest of the three genin. That's not to diminish his skill, as Kenzo-sensei predicted he would become a master of leaf-style swordsmanship within 10 years or so, but it is difficult to shine alongside two prodigies. Speaking of which, Naruto was no slouch either. While not having the skill with weaponry as his other two teammates, the redhead was more of a juggernaut-type fighter. His speed now rivaled Kenzo-sensei's, though he was one of the lazier jonin, and his taijutsu was above average. The only issue he had with it was that he was so fast he only really had experience against Itachi, as no one else could really keep up. He had recently discovered his primary element was wind, with a secondary element of fire, and was beginning to stockpile various jutsu of those elements. He still hadn't begun any nature transformation training, but he was gaining experience and know-how with the techniques regardless. In addition, he had managed to make significant progress in the past year on his Fuinjutsu. Unfortunately, significant progress meant he was almost finished mastering his calligraphy skills on all the basic symbols. He still had speed, basic seal development, seal placement, and seal weaving before he could be considered a master of the basics, let alone a true master like the Uzumaki were said to have been. All in all, the three-man squad was easily Chunin level. Unfortunately, Kenzo-sensei was rather lazy and still didn't feel like entering them into the Chunin exams anytime soon. As he said, maybe once you're old enough. Naruto insisted that Kakashi became a Chunin at 7, but frankly, Kenzo didn't care. He was, in the immortal words of the Nara clan, troublesome. Today would be a rather interesting day, though, as a visitor would reintroduce himself to Naruto's life. Or Naruto countered. It's because you stopped training seriously after Itachi and I left, and focused on hanging out with Hana. Why, I have no idea what you're talking about. She huffed. I do so train. Yeah, you do train, but not as hard as you did when we were with you. If you did, you'd be a genin already. Naruto shook his head and smiled. But who cares? Graduate at your own pace, Anko. You'll be a great ninja whether you graduate this year or at 12 like standard. Shut up. Is Anko blushing? I am not. Anko shouted. Get over here and let me beat your ass. Have to catch me first, apricot. Damn you, stupid fish cake. The two ran out of the house directly into a ninja who was standing outside the gate and staring wistfully at the home. Ow. Anko whined. Watch where you're going, Naruto. Hey, it's not my fault. You ran into me. Naruto shot back. Besides, it was this guy that was. It took him a moment, but when he turned back to look at the person he'd ran into, Naruto's eyes widened. Yo! Kakashi! The redhead exclaimed with a smile before decking the white-haired man in the gut. Where the hell have you been, asshole? I guess I deserve that, Kakashi grunted in pain. Sorry. Who's the Cyclops? Anko asked. That's Kakashi. He was my dad's favorite student, Naruto sighed. Kakashi, this is Anko. Well, looks like you have a girlfriend at an even younger age than your father did, Naruto. Kakashi gave a smile. Well, it was probably a smile. The only part of his face that was showing was his right eye. I'm not his girlfriend. Anko shouted indignantly and punched him in the gut as well. Ow, Kakashi groaned, falling to his knees. What was that for? Who knows? If you did something to Fish Cake that was bad enough for him to gut punch you, you probably deserve it. I've got class to get to. See ya later, Fish Cake. Later, apricot. Don't call me apricot. Anko shouted as she ran off to the academy. She's certainly interesting, Kakashi winced. That second punch would bruise. Hell of a punch. You got floored by an academy student. In my defense, I let her hit me. Why are you here, Kakashi? Naruto sighed. I haven't seen you since they died. That's why I figured I owed you at least as much as an apology. You owe me more than that, that's for sure, Naruto grumbled, glaring slightly. Right. Naruto? Kakashi? Is that you? Itachi asked, approaching the duo. Yo, Itachi, Kakashi waved slightly. You're not gonna hit me too, are ya? Do I want to know? He got floored by Anko, Naruto explained. Itachi nodded. She packs quite a punch. You don't say, Kakashi deadpan. Itachi and I have a mission today, Kakashi, so you'll have to come back later, the redhead told him. How long did Kenzo-sensei say we'd be gone? He grumbled about having to reschedule 3 appointments, so probably almost 2 weeks, Itachi commented. Appointments? Kakashi questioned. Kenzo-sensei is a man-whore, Naruto explained. Alright. Listen, I know what I want from you to make up for leaving me alone for 3 years even though I thought of you as my older brother. When you put it like that, it makes me sound like a terrible person. Gee, I wonder why, Naruto rolled his eyes. I want to see Jiraiya again. The last time I saw him was my 3rd birthday. He's supposed to be my godfather or something, right? Asshole abandoned me, too. Jiraiya? Kakashi seemed surprised. Why do you want to see him? Well, not only is the asshole my godfather, so he should probably, I don't know, be a part of my life, Naruto said indignantly. I'm also getting closer to mastering the basics of sealing. Probably another year or so before I can write my own explosive tags. I want him to help and I have a few questions as well. He was my father's sensei. Why would you think I know where he is? The Jonin asked. I mean, couldn't you ask Lord Hokage? You two are close, aren't you? Close enough to where I can call him old man, but not close enough to see each other outside of mission assignments more than once a month, Naruto sighed. Besides, he likes you just as much as he does me. If you ask too, I think I have a better shot. I'll see what I can do, Kakashi sighed. And really I am sorry. I'll try to come visit when I can. Good, the redhead gave a small smile. I missed having an older brother around, you know? We should hurry up if we don't want to be late, Naruto, Itachi said. Even though Kenzo-sensei is usually late, we shouldn't follow his example in this case. Right. Next time you come, Kakashi, we'll have a spar. See if I'm closer to kicking your ass. With that, Itachi and Naruto ran off towards the Hokage Tower to get their mission. See ya, Naruto. April 14th, 068 Naruto's Mindscape. Let me guess, I'm supposed to rebuild your playpen? Naruto sighed, quickly fixing the village. Better? What's got you in such a foul mood, human? I haven't even said anything yet, the fox huffed. If you're going to sound like my previous containers, you can leave now. Sorry, Naruto apologized, actually looking sort of ashamed. It's not your fault, I've just been having a rough week. Well? I thought I gave you a giant television to watch. Wait, you actually want to know? The redhead asked, bewildered. Not particularly, but you can only destroy a village so many times and sleep for so long before it becomes rather tedious, the fox answered disinterestedly. Besides, you didn't hook up any sound. I can't hear anything. I'm such an idiot, Naruto slapped his forehead. Why didn't you say anything earlier? Like I care enough to want to see what's going on in your life, human. But you're asking now. I did no such thing. Whatever, fox. He rolled his eyes but formed what looked like 2 giant speakers next to the screen. Better? If me experiencing the sound of your life is your idea of better, then yes. You're unbelievably difficult, you know that? Naruto chuckled. You really want to know why I'm in a mood? No, but perhaps your human problems may amuse me. Carry on, human, you have my permission. I'll take that as a yes. The two spent a few hours chatting with each other, Naruto telling him of how Kenzo-sensei told them they wouldn't be able to take the Chunin exams until next year, as he thought they were still too young, how Kakashi had only stopped by once in 3 months, and how he still hadn't seen hide nor hair of Jiraiya. The fox told him that all his problems would be solved if he started to rip the flesh and meat off of his enemies' bones, but the redhead gently informed him that such an idea may not pan out quite so well. So, are you finally going to tell me how to come in here on your own? To be honest with you, I thought you'd figure it out on your own. Where are we? My mindscape? How does one get in touch with their mind? I'm an idiot. Yes, you are. Shut up, Naruto sighed. Well, I guess I'll be here more often. Do you understand friendship yet? Your silly human term for stealing my power? Sure, that one, he rolled his eyes. The fox could be quite difficult. I suppose I see more of who you are, human. And? You are less detestable than my previous containers, the fox admitted. Coming from you, that's high praise. I'll take it. Does that mean you'll call me by my name? I can't seem to recall what it is, nor can I seem to care. It's Na. I don't care what your name is, Kit, nor do I want to know. Naruto gave a genuine smile. Thanks, Kyuubi. We'll be friends yet, just you wait. You may continue to have your human dreams, Kit. I have a village to destroy. April 2nd, 069. So I've decided it's about time I entered you three in the Chunin exams, Kenzo-sensei sighed. It's a pain in the neck, but you three have finally. It's about time, Naruto yelled. What were you waiting for? A shiny gold invitation? I can kick the ass of every Chunin in the village, and Itachi can give most Jonin a run for their money, especially if they aren't proficient in Genjutsu. Heck, even Hate is nearing high Chunin with Kenjutsu. I feel like, that was supposed to be offensive, Naruto, coughed Hate. But he does have a point, Kenzo-sensei. I thought I told you to call me master? Kenzo cocked an eyebrow. I remember saying, that I would call you master when you earn my respect, outside of the Kenjutsu ring. I'm perfectly respectable. You're rather lazy, sensei, Itachi commented. And you're a man-whore, Naruto pointed out. Kids these days, grumbled Kenzo. Anyway, the exams start in a week. If you want to participate, then be at the academy at 12 o'clock sharp. I think there's some secret test where if all three of you don't go, you can't take the test because it shows a lack of teamwork or something, but I really don't care about all of that. So show up or don't. You're as excitable as always, Kenzo-sensei, the redhead sighed. Yeah, well, when you have to teach a bunch of 9-year-old brats how to be ninja, you let me know how excited you are. Kenzo rolled his eyes. Good luck to all three of you. I'll see you there. I have high expectations and have no doubt that all three of you will make Chunin. Did he just? Naruto's jaw dropped as their sensei body flickered away. Yes, Itachi nodded, equally shocked. I believe Kenzo-sensei just gave us genuine praise. If only he could do that, during our Kenjutsu training, Hate commented. So you two are, ready for this? I've been ready for years. We're gonna kick ass at those exams. Naruto grinned. May 9th, 069. What did I tell you? Naruto grinned, holding up his Chunin vest. We kicked ass, didn't we? I heard Lord Hokage say that we were the first full team in the history of the Leaf to have all of its members make the finals of the third round together. Even the Sannin didn't accomplish as much, Itachi nodded, putting his own vest on. Can't say I'm, surprised. We're a pretty damn good team, Hate nodded. We're a pretty damn good team, Kenzo drawled. All three of you are Chunin now. You'll be going on higher ranked assignments and occasionally leading Genin squads when their Jonin sensei are otherwise unavailable. So our team is being dissolved? Naruto asked, fairly surprised at that. For all intents and purposes, yeah. All three of you are Chunin. The four of us may work together again, but you're not brats who need their own personal sensei anymore. I'm just Kenzo now, a fellow ninja of the Leaf. Except to you, Hate. That's Master Kenzo to you. Not, a chance, Kenzo-sensei. Wait a second, Naruto narrowed his eyes. So, now that we're no longer your Genin team, what are you gonna be doing? Oh, me? Kenzo scratched his head awkwardly. I'll just be doing normal Jonin things. Anyway, good work you three. See you around. Damn it! Naruto shouted as Kenzo's body flickered away. Naruto, what's wrong? Itachi asked. He just waited so long to put us through the Chunin exams so he wouldn't have to get a new team. The redhead shouted indignantly. The lazy bastard. That sounds a lot like Kenzo-sensei, Hate agreed. Yo! Came a new voice, approaching them with a wave and a small book in the other hand. I heard you made Chunin, Naruto. And team, of course. Of course I did, Kakashi. If Kenzo-sensei wasn't such a lazy bastard, I'd have made it years ago, Naruto grumbled. Looks like someone else will have to beat my record, Kakashi shrugged. Yeah, whatever, Naruto rolled his eyes. Anyway, Kakashi, Itachi and I were talking about something. Oh? The white-haired bookworm raised an eyebrow. What's that? Both of us were interested in applying for the NBU Black Ops, Itachi finished. I see, Kakashi closed his book, which, for those who knew him, was rather surprising. And why is that? I wish to protect the leaf, Itachi said simply. I believe the NBU is my place. And Naruto? I want the challenge and to continue working alongside Itachi, Naruto said. Working my way up to Jonin is fine, but I can do more. Remember the incident with the Hyuga a few months ago? Maybe if the ANBU had some fresh new blood on patrol, we could have avoided the incident altogether. Well, it just so happens that I'm here for that reason, Kakashi gave them one of his patented eye smiles. ANBU recognized both of you and has an open invitation, should you wish to accept. Hey, you have the skill, but unfortunately with that cough, the stealth and secrecy required elude you. That's cough, okay, I didn't want to be there anyway. I still need cough, more training under Kenzo-sensei. Hate waved him off. Good luck to you too, though. Always knew, cough, you'd both be doing great things for the leaf in the cough future. Thanks, Hate, Naruto grinned, giving him a firm handshake. Good luck in the field. Indeed. I'm sure your swordsmanship will continue to flourish, Itachi nodded. October 10th, 069. Weasel, Dog, Fox, you may remove your masks, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, ordered. Yes, Lord Hokage, they answered simultaneously, removing their masks, revealing three familiar faces. A 10-year-old Uchiha prodigy, a now 10-year-old redhead, and a white-haired, one-eyed ANBU captain. Naruto, the old man smiled. Happy birthday. Thanks, old man, Naruto grinned. The small yet ruthless ANBU contingent were all dressed in standard ANBU attire, sleeveless, skin-tight black shirts, gray body armor, black pants, arm guards, and a tanto strapped to their back. When on duty, Naruto wore the fox mask, while Itachi wore the weasel, and Kakashi wore the dog. Your present should be arriving shortly as well. What am I, a package? Give me some more respect, Sarutobi-sensei, a new voice grinned as he climbed in through the window. Hey kid! How's it OF? Asshole! Naruto shouted, decking the white-haired old man in the stomach. You're my godfather and I haven't seen you in 6 years. Where the hell have you been? Calm yourself, kid. I have a perfectly legitimate excuse this time. Jiraiya sweated nervously. If you say anything about those books Captain Kakashi reads, I'll deck you again, he warned. Damn, for a 9-year-old kid, you're ruthless, Jiraiya chuckled. I'm 10, Naruto shouted as he decked him again. Perhaps you should calm down, Naruto, the third suggested awkwardly. Right, sorry, the redhead sighed. It's just I didn't have anyone but Itachi for 3 months after they died and Anko only became my roommate a few months after that. I was alone. Listen, kid, Jiraiya sighed. I'm sorry. It's just hard, you know? Not only am I the spy master for the leaf, it's hard to see you and not Minato. He was like my own son. That's what Captain said as well. I understand that I needed someone, Naruto admitted quietly. I'll make it up to you someday, kid. That day is coming soon, Jiraiya, the old man smiled. And what does that mean? Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. It means I'd like you to take Naruto training with you. What? They both shouted. I can't do that. The kid's 10. He's too young. I can't leave. Anko would kill me. Naruto shivered. I was on a mission for her birthday once, never again, never again. I'm afraid Naruto may be relapsing, Itachi said, calmly walking up and slapping the redhead. Oh. He rubbed his cheek. Thanks. I needed that. Of course. I'm sure you'll have time, the third waved him off. After all, you don't leave for 2 weeks and the trip should only be about 6 months. 6 months? I thought your daughter was having a kid soon. I'm gonna miss it? Naruto whined. And 2 weeks from today is Anko's birthday. Are you trying to get me killed? Listen to the kid, old man, the places I go aren't for kids. Both of you will stop complaining, Sarutobi ordered. Naruto, you are a shinobi of the leaf. I'm ordering you to train with Jiraiya. Your personal ordeals can be settled in the next 2 weeks up until your departure. The week preceding your departure, your team will have off. Understood? Yes, sir, Naruto sighed. And you, Jiraiya, will agree to help mentor your best student's son. He's becoming better at Fuinjutsu by the week, and within a few years will need someone of your caliber to help him out. If anyone has a chance to surpass Minato, it's Naruto. And I mean in all ways, not just the inheritor of that jutsu. Alright, you've made your point, Jiraiya sighed. I'll be back. Until then, here. Happy birthday, kid. Naruto caught the tossed object and looked at it. It was a small, toad-themed wallet with some cash inside, and a keychain that held a small tri-pronged kunai. The redhead smiled softly, reminded closely of his father by the gift. Thanks. Don't mention it, kid. See you in 2 weeks. Don't let your girlfriend kill you, the white-haired Sannin giggled perversely before taking off. She's not my girlfriend, Naruto shouted after him. Aika Ambu, Kakashi giggled perversely. Shut it. Lord Hokage, are all jonin perverted? Itachi asked as if trying to figure out the meaning of such a strange commonality. What was that? The old leader replied, quickly hiding the small orange book he'd been reading and wiping the blood off his nose. I must have missed it. Never mind. That evening, Naruto's mindscape. Kit, the fox said in his usual deep, growling voice. Oh, hey, Kyubi, Naruto sighed and waved. What's up? Are you angry because of what that strange human said earlier, or are you just indignant at having to rebuild the village again? A little bit of both, I suppose, Naruto chuckled, quickly reforming the village for the Kyubi to destroy again. So, what's up? Today is the day you were born. I know that. What's Naruto's eyes widened and his jaw dropped. Are you wishing me a happy birthday? What? No. I'm a tailed beast. We don't have silly human customs like that, he huffed. You are, aren't you? Thanks a lot, Kyubi. Naruto grinned. That made my day, you know? Think what you want, Kit, the fox growled. Did ya get me a present? Don't push your luck. Sorry, he chuckled. I'd get you something if you told me your birthday. When I was born, your human days didn't exist yet. It was long before then, since the dawn of chakra. So, will you tell me where you came from? That sounds like a good birthday present. Not a chance, Kit. I do, however, have a request. Well, that seems backward, but what's up? Other than letting you destroy my village over and over again, you never ask for anything. I'd like you to let foxes return to prominence once more. Let the world fear our power. It sickens me that you puny humans worship those vile creatures like toads and slugs, and God forbid snakes. Filthy peons, foxes are far stronger. Alright, Naruto deadpanned. And how exactly am I supposed to do that? Must I explain everything to you? The fox sighed. Do you know what contract summons are? Well, yeah. You have one for foxes? Naruto looked surprised. Where do you think they came from, Kit? Animals don't just start talking, growing to the size of mountains, and training in human ninja techniques, you know. That is a very good point. Idiot, the fox sighed and began to explain. After we were created, the 9 of us decided that imparting our will on things started to get boring. Being all-powerful, we run out of things to do rather quickly. Of course, the redhead rolled his eyes. So many of my fellow tailed beasts, the weaklings that they are, started to create other chakra constructs with consciousnesses. They simply imparted a piece of their will onto a piece of their chakra and sent it into an animal, and that animal started a clan. That's awesome. Those clans grew larger and eventually founded their own territories. In many cases, the originals sacrificed their lives to create a separate plane for them to live in. That was the case for the toads, the slugs, the snakes, and several others, including the foxes. So that's why they have summoning contracts. In exchange for being allowed out into the normal world again, they offer their fighting services? In essence, yes, though I'm surprised you didn't ask how they were able to create their own planes of existence. My father invented instantaneous teleportation that bent the fabric of reality to get from point A to point B just from touching something. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if chakra could raise the dead and change the very fundamental nature of physics. Somewhere in the land of rain, a crippled redhead sneezed. You have a fair point, Kit. So, do you understand my wish? Those foolish humans have let the great name of the foxes die out. I want you to bring them to heights so great, they fear and worship my kinsmen. So, my birthday gift is a summoning contract. That's awesome. Naruto grinned. Where is it and how do I sign it? I believe I left it in my old cave. It shouldn't be far from your puny village. That's descriptive. Foolish Kit, the fox grumbled. Head north and search until you find a cave big enough to fit me and has a demonic chakra signature so dense that anyone else entering would die. Point taken. Why has no one tried to take your chakra yet? A few have and one succeeded. Fools, without my consciousness there, only my will remains, which is rage incarnate. So the one person who succeeded is no better than a raging, angry demon fox, albeit a pathetically weak human one, the QB grinned. Ugh. October 24th, 069. Happy birthday, Anko. Naruto grinned, as the purple-haired Kunoichi to be walked into the kitchen. Not much of a birthday when my best friend is leaving on it, she grumbled. Naruto sighed. It had been like this all week. He knew she would be disappointed, but what could he do? It's not like he set the departure date. Oh, don't be like that, Anko. When I get back, you'll be a genin and we can start going on missions together. Besides, we spent the last 3 days celebrating. No, we can't, she snapped. Because you and Itachi are in ANBU, remember? Okay, Anko, what's really wrong? Naruto demanded. I know you. You'd get mad that I'm missing your birthday but then get over it. Something else is wrong. Nothing's wrong. I'm just pissed you're leaving on my birthday. She huffed, turning away. Bullshit, spill. What's wrong? Alright, fine. You want to know what's wrong? You and Itachi are never around, that's what's wrong. Anko shouted, stomping slightly. It's always sorry, Anko. I can't get Dango. I have a mission, sorry, Anko. I can't train with you. I have a team meeting, sorry, Anko. Shusoi's got time off and Itachi and I are visiting him. What about me, huh? You two left me behind. Anko, Naruto whispered and walked up to her. His mind was halted and he was horrified, as memories of exactly what she'd said flashed before his eyes. It was true he'd abandoned her, the one thing that he hated more than anything else, as it had been done to him by so many, he'd done to her. I'm sorry. Yeah, of course you are, she rolled her eyes. Not sorry enough to. No, I'm really sorry, Naruto cut her off with a hug. You're right. You're absolutely right. Why yeah, of course I'm right, she huffed, blushing but making no moves one way or the other in the hug. I'm always right. No, not always, he chuckled, as she hit him in the head before he let go. But this time you are. I'm sorry we didn't we? We just got I'm sorry, Anko. You'd better be sorry, she glared, but it lost most of its heat from the red on her cheeks. I wish I could make it up to you before I leave, but he hesitated. Yeah, go run off with Jiraiya, Anko huffed again. I'll spend time on my birthday with Hana. We're gonna stay together, even if we aren't on the same team when we pass the exams. Anko, he protested. Please don't be like that. I'll see you in 6 months, Naruto. She went to leave the house, but was stopped again by Naruto. No, Anko, he looked at her again. I'm not leaving with you pissed off at me like this. It's my fault, okay? I left you behind focusing on my own future and not helping you with yours. It's my fault. I shouldn't have left you alone. Nice speech. Please, Anko, just tell me how I can make it up to you. I'll tell you when you get back, Anko said. Wait, Anko, I don't want. He was cut off by Anko. And when you get back, she told him, still blushing bright red after giving him a kiss on the cheek. You owe me more dango than you could possibly imagine. Alright, Naruto stuttered. I have the academy to go to. She turned to walk out again. Bye, Naruto. You are right, see you, Anko. Happy birthday. Naruto went back to sit down, still in a bit of a daze, until he heard perverted giggling from outside his window. What the Jiraiya? What the hell? Oh, hey, kid. The Sannin waved, still scribbling down notes. That was perfect. It'll be perfect for my next novel, Ika Ika ANBU. The young and supple co teases the ever-busy Ruto and puffs her lips out sadly before he leaves. But wouldn't you rather stay here with me and have dash? Jiraiya. You pervert. Naruto yelled. Hey, I'm no pervert. He defended before striking a pose. The legendary Toad Sage Jiraiya is a super pervert. Alright, pervy sage, Naruto glared. Should we go? Why hey? Don't call me that. Don't write a porn book about my friendship with Anko. Right, he giggled perversely. Friendship. Does this friendship include? I got enough of that shit from Kenzo-sensei. I don't need it from you. December 1st, 069. You got the what? Jiraiya shouted. The fox summoning contract. The QB told me about it, Naruto shrugged. See? Sure enough, Naruto unsealed a massive scroll as tall as he was and showed it to the older man. In fact, it looked near identical to the scroll that Jiraiya carried around on his back all the time. You talked to the fox? And it told you to get this? Jiraiya was bewildered. Start from the beginning, kid. My head already hurts. So, Naruto told the old man about all the encounters they'd had so far, and of the various things he'd done for the fox. And then he told me where to look. I found it on my week off. I was hoping to surprise Anko, Itachi, and Kakashi with it. So you're telling me the toads are remnants of tailed beast chakra? Jiraiya asked, collapsing on his knees in shock. I thought that was the easiest part to understand. I mean, come on, isn't the chief toad the size of the 9 tails? Toads don't just get that big, you know. Naruto rolled his eyes. I wonder which one the toads came from. Be right back. No, wait dash. Naruto's mindscape. Yo, QB! Which tailed beast is the what are you doing? The fox froze as it was caught in a somewhat embarrassing position. It was currently rolling around in the grass, scratching its back on the ground and humming contentedly. One word out of you, I'll rip you apart and feed you to the Shinigami. Oh, you owe me big time for that, Naruto grinned. Jackpot. Anyway, which tailed beast did toads come from? Dolphin horse, 5 tails, QB answered. Don't give me that confused look. How are you supposed to summon a dolphin on dry land? And as for horses, they were used so much they all died out. And let me tell you, it's difficult to kill a summon animal. Very difficult. That makes no sense, but okay. See ya. I'll rip you to meat and bone if you say a word, Kit. Outside. Don't talk to him now, Jiraiya finished. He said it was the 5-tailed dolphin horse. That was faster than I expected, the Sannin admitted. Anyway, will you just teach me how to summon? Look, kid, I'm still having trouble trusting the fox. You know he can hear you, right? I'd suck up to him if I could, but I feel like that wouldn't matter, Jiraiya deadpanned, practically sensing the fox's laughter at his dilemma. Besides, Dad told me to befriend the fox. Minato did what? Well, kinda, Naruto chuckled. He said something about ending the hatred and not blaming the fox since he was controlled by Madara. Even when Sarutobi-sensei told me that, I didn't believe it, the Sannin shook his head. But if even Minato thinks it was him, I don't have much of a choice. So, will you teach me to summon? Alright, kid, calm down. I figured you'd want to learn some of your old man's jutsu. Like the Flying Thunder God? I doubt I can get that far in sealing in 6 months, regardless of how good you are, pervy sage. Don't, Jiraiya just sighed. Honestly, kid? Even I don't know that technique. I might be able to figure out Lord Second's version, but your dad made it incredible and I could never master it. I meant this. Whoa, Naruto breathed out, eyes wide at the thick ball of pure, rotating chakra in the old man's hand. That's the Rasengan. Looks like you know your stuff, kid, he grinned. So, wouldn't you rather learn that? We've got 6 months, Naruto grinned cheekily. Summoning first, then that. Jiraiya just groaned. May 18th, 070. What the fuck do you mean missing? Naruto demanded, slamming his hands on his desk. Calm down, Naruto, Sarutobi ordered. I'm just as surprised as you are. I'm going to find her, the redhead spun on his heel and turned to leave. No, you aren't, Naruto. Yes, Naruto. I am your Hokage and I am ordering you to not leave in search of Anko Mitarashi, Lord Third declared sternly. I understand the two of you have a close relationship, but there's nothing you can do about it now. Even if you could find her, there's no evidence that she's both alive and an unwilling participant. For all we know, she left with him willingly. Anko would never betray the village, Naruto said softly, a single tear falling down his face, but still not turning back to the Hokage. No matter what happened. And I believe she's still alive. The elderly Hokage sighed. He knew this would happen. Soon after Naruto had left with Jiraiya on their training journey, Anko Mitarashi was taken under the wing of Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin. She was, of course, beyond thrilled, and quickly took to the training like a fish to water, according to all reports. She'd even been allowed to take the Chunin exams, joining a genin squad that was a man down, and passed it. Unfortunately, the week after the exams ended, Orochimaru made plans to take 9 genin and his apprentice on a training journey and sent them on their way. Unfortunately, it was just before Orochimaru left that Hiruzen discovered what he was really up to. As it turned out, the snake was conducting sickening, vile experiments on people, villagers, bandits, ninja, both friend and foe, the elderly, and children. It seemed that there was no limit to his perversion of the very nature of humanity. Confronting his one-time student, Sarutobi ordered the snake to surrender, though, somewhat unsurprisingly, he did not. In fact, the old Hokage practically allowed him to escape. He simply did not have it in his heart to take the life of his one-time student. Following their encounter, it was discovered that all 10 ninja were still missing and hadn't been heard from since. I hope you're right, Naruto, but I can't allow you to mindlessly search for her, the old Hokage sighed. He really wished Minato were still here. The Namikes would have stopped his wayward student long beforehand. You're needed back on Team Ro. Dog, Weasel, and Cat have been handling it, but your expertise has been notably missing. And I've heard from Jiraiya that you now have a new summoning contract and can perform the Rasengan? Yeah, Naruto replied sadly. And I'm up to intermediate level on seals. Jiraiya says that I should be a master by the time I turn 18 if I keep my same progress. That's wonderful, Naruto. Yeah, Naruto couldn't help the tears that dropped from his eyes. But what's the point of learning if I can't protect anyone? Enko, please be okay, please. July 4th, 070. Kakashi was giving a series of silent signals to his team. They were on a simple, straightforward assassination mission. An important political figure in the Land of Lightning was currently in the Land of Hot Water. Apparently, they were attempting to give funding to the hidden Hot Springs village so that they could take over the Land of Frosts, thus securing a single border country as both a powerful informational ally and a powerful military ally. Of course, this would put pressure on the Land of Fire, as the Hidden Cloud could station troops on their border with no prior notification. So, they were to assassinate the heavily guarded dignitary in order to secure the failure of an alliance. However, it was crucial that the mission not be traced back to the leaf. 4-man squad. 2 Jonin, 2 Chunin. Formation A17. Point Fox, Perimeter Cat, Backup Weasel, Target Dog. Engage in 30, Kakashi signed to them. Receiving the affirmative, the group quickly got in their formation. 20. Naruto could hear their breathing as the 4 ninja and 1 politician continued down the road, unknowing to the fate that would befall them. 15. Killing was becoming so easy, so second nature. He could still remember his first kill. A simple bandit raid back what seemed like a lifetime ago. How ignorance to the world's bloodshed was truly bliss. 10. So many missions, countless missions. He was nearing Kakashi's record for his age, taking every mission possible, and scouring every information source, all for one simple goal. Enko. 5. He couldn't think about her now. He had targets to kill. Wind-style Naruto spoke softly, quickly flipping through hand seals. Xingtian's decapitation. He always did inherit his father's naming style. Dog sweat dropped, but he was impressed. A sharp line of wind, even with the neck and the width of the entire path, was sent rocketing towards the group, who barely had time to react. The 2 Jonin ducked. 1 Chunin had his head cut clean off, and the other was cut deeply while tackling the dignitary to safety on the ground. We're under attack, one of the Jonin announced. Quickly, protect the dignitary, the other ordered. Captain, I'm hit, the still-living Chunin groaned. Earth-style, double suicide decapitation jutsu. 3 separate Narutos emerged from the ground, 1 grabbing the Chunin, 1 grabbing a Jonin, and the 3rd missing as the 2nd Jonin leaped away. Damn it, it's the leaf! Umbu! The escaping Jonin shouted, making a break for it. Wind-style, Gale Palm! Naruto shouted, rocketing off a powerful wind technique at the Jonin, who managed to evade and begin his escape, only to reach a second ANBU, this one with a weasel mask. Another one! He roared, quickly throwing a kunai into the chest of the enemy ANBU. Ha! 1 down! That was almost what? A genjutsu? Sure enough, where he once thought was a dead or dying enemy ninja, turned into a simple murder of crows, cawing loudly as they flew off. You are caught in my genjutsu, Itachi explained calmly, emerging from a tree. Release! The ninja shouted, before charging again, successfully slicing open the Uchiha. Gotcha what? I told you before, Itachi repeated, as, once again, he exploded into a murder of cawing crows. You are stuck in my genjutsu. Fucking leaf ninja! The Cloud Jonin ground out. Goodbye, Cloud Jonin. Before he had a chance to respond, the genjutsu broke, as he looked down to see a tanto stabbed clean through his heart. Allowing the body to slide off his sword dead, Itachi walked over to the rest of his team to find Naruto finishing the job. He'd been doing it the same way since he found out Enko was missing, and, even for an NBU, it was a bit sickening. Naruto would disable the enemy, either wounding their legs or using a technique such as double suicide decapitation, and then grind a Rasengan into the tops of their skulls. It was lethal 100% of the time, without fail. It was, however, revolting. Fox, couldn't you dispose of our opponents in a less gruesome manner? My methods are absolute, Weasel. It is impossible to survive, therefore, the most effective. Alright, you two, mission accomplished, Dog announced, carrying the decapitated head of their target. We're heading back. Yes, Captain, both nodded, following the dog-masked NBU back towards the village. September 12, 070. Today was a rather boring day. Team Rho was on mandatory leave from out-of-village missions after the Hokage claimed they were working too hard and it was becoming a possible hazard to their health. Kat, also known as Yugao Yuzuki, decided to spend some time off with her boyfriend, Hate Gecko, whom she had recently begun dating. Their captain, Dog, or Kakashi Hataki, spent some shifts as the Hokage's personal guard, spent some time training, and the rest of the time relaxing with his little book. There was a new one out called Ika Ika Umbuweasel. Itachi Uchiha split his month between spending time with his 5-year-old brother, who would start the academy in 072, and taking shifts as the Hokage's personal guard. Fox, Naruto Uzumaki, was to spend the entire month as the personal guard for Konohamaru Sarutobi, Lord Third's honorable grandson, who would be turning 1 in 3 months. It wasn't like Naruto hated the infant, not by a long shot, but as a trained killer, an elite ANBU babysitting was just demeaning. But more so than even that, being restricted to the village meant he couldn't look for Enko. She'd been missing for almost a year, and he still had no idea of her whereabouts. Nothing had been the same since she left. Maybe the saying absence makes the heart grow fonder, as he found it hard to concentrate on anything other than where she was now that he wasn't on a strenuous, high-stakes mission. So, he resigned himself to guard duty, counting the days till it would finally end. Naruto's Mindscape. You ever thought about destroying a different village, Kyuubi? Naruto asked. I mean, it's been the same for years. I suppose, but you aren't nearly as attached to those villages, the fox said. Once you get used to me destroying this one, you'll hardly flinch when I destroy the real one. Sure, he rolled his eyes. I'm pretty damn near positive that even if I let you out tomorrow, all you'd do is walk away from the village. At most you'd kill that masked asshole for daring to control you. TCH, cheeky kid. Say, I haven't asked you in a while. Think you could tell me about where you came from? Why do you wish to know so badly? Didn't I tell you? Friends are supposed to understand one another. I don't know your life, you won't tell me. You just keep saying you're the embodiment of hatred, which is bullshit, by the way. TCH. Don't TCH me, stupid fox. Fine, Kit. You may listen to my story. The fox gained a wistful look. It was a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. The real story? This is the real story. The fox huffed indignantly. Anyway, from somewhere in space, a large rock collided with your Earth. From that rock grew a large tree. From that large tree grew a fruit. That fruit was eaten by a woman, who was said to have come to Earth in search of the meteor, and was so beautiful, none could deny her anything she desired. Fancy. The fruit gave her unimaginable power, which she used to enslave the world to her will, creating complete and perfect peace throughout the world. That's not peace, that's cruelty, Naruto shook his head angrily. That's what her 2 sons believed. The 2 grew powerful, stronger than even their mother, and sealed her away in what is now your moon. This story is either really insane or you are a gifted fantasy storyteller, the redhead chuckled. You dare doubt my origin story, Kit? No. Keep going. The space alien girl was just defeated. As I was saying, her 2 sons sealed her away inside the moon. Unfortunately, her disappearance led to the creation of the progenitor of my existence, the Ten Tails. The Ten Tails? Yes, the Ten Tails. One of the only beings to ever exceed my strength. The 2 brothers battled the Ten Tails, the eldest sealing it away inside himself, becoming the first of what you humans call Jinchuriki. Come to think of it, I don't know what happened to his brother. He never said. So, where do you come in? The creation of all things, a technique used and known only by the eldest brother. He separated the near-infinite chakra of the 10 tails into 9 different tailed beasts, our power scaling alongside our tails. This was done in the waning period of his life. I believe we had a year with him, before he passed on. This was but a human, but he was far more powerful than even I. I believe you humans know him as the Sage of Six Paths. The Sage of Six Paths? Naruto shouted. You're telling me that the Sage of Six Paths is not only real, but that he created the tailed beasts? I fail to see how you find that surprising. Are you crazy? That's awesome. You gotta tell me about this guy. What was his name? What was he like? How strong was he? Perhaps another time, Kit. I've said more than I likely should. Perhaps you remind me of something he told us before he died, the fox mumbled wistfully. Now reform my playpen and be on your way. All right. Thanks, QB. I feel like I'm starting to understand you better every time we chat, Naruto grinned. TCH. October 1st, 070. Things are really tense, huh? Are you sure you're okay with this, Weasel? Fox asked. I am an ANBU under the service of the Leaf. I shall complete my assigned tasks, he replied simply. I'm serious, Itachi. I'm not asking as Fox, I'm asking as your friend. I mean, come on. Today's assignment was one the Hokage had trouble giving them. They were to spy on the Uchiha district and keep tabs on them. The clan was growing restless. There had always been slight mistrust between the general population of the Leaf and the Uchiha clan, ever since Madara Uchiha, but it had grown worse for two prominent reasons. One was the Nine Tails incident, where the Uchiha were largely blamed, as it was said that Madara had the power to control the fox at the time of the founding of the village, and the other was the demands of Fugaku, who believed that the Uchiha's greatness was being overshadowed by the village. He wanted more power, more presence, and more rights than the other clans, and that was further separating them. If that wasn't enough, during the reconstruction from after the fox attack, the Uchiha were placed farther away in the outskirts of the village. That's where they currently were being observed from the NBU. I must admit it is troubling, but I am a shinobi first. My allegiance is to the Leaf. Alright, if you say so, Itachi. Naruto gave his longtime friend a comforting hand on his shoulder before donning his mask and entering the room. February 9th, 071. Fox. A survivor! Shouted Cat. Quickly and soundlessly, the ANBU agent shot over to where his teammate was. Naruto, alongside Cat, Falcon, and Boar, were on a mission in the land of the sea to infiltrate one of Orochimaru's hidden bases. If possible, they were to capture anyone inside for information, and if not, destroy the base after taking anything of interest. Naruto took every mission relating even slightly to the snake Sannin. Anything to do with suspicious experiments, snakes, suspicious kidnappings, or deformed corpses located, Naruto took them all, desperately hoping to find Anko. Where? He demanded. Inside, Cat gestured to the room. She's alive, but unconscious. Naruto entered the room and his heart stopped. There, lying on the ground like yesterday's garbage, was Anko Mitarashi. She was dressed casually, not in shinobi attire at all, with the same dark red shirt she loved so much. It was too much. He knelt down next to her, put a hand on her shoulder, and cried. Anko, he whispered, tears welling up and falling behind his mask. I really found you, Anko. Don't take too long, Fox, Cat said softly. We're leaving soon. Right, he sniffed, trying to recompose himself as he gently picked up the unconscious young Kunoichi. Anko, please come back to me. February 12th, 071. A slight groan and a twitch of a hand is all that preceded her return to the land of the living. She slowly tried to open her eyes, wincing at the light. The room was a bright white for the most part, and she was lying in a bed of some sort. A hospital, Anko mused. But where am I? And Orochimaru-sensei? Memories flashed back. Her early apprenticeship. The Chunin exam. The first few months of a training trip. Strange experiments that he would only vaguely explain. A horrifying pain after he'd bitten her. And then? Nothing. She couldn't remember how long ago it was. It could have been years. It could have been days. It could have been. Anko? Anko, are you awake? Please tell me you can hear me, a voice pleaded. She felt something firmly holding her hand. A voice speaking to her. Come on, Anko. Give me something. Please come back to me. What, she groaned out. Where am I? Anko, thank Kami you're still okay. The weight on her hand seemed to collapse on her arm and something found itself wrapped around her waist. Who are you? She grumbled, still wincing at the light. Anko? Please, don't tell me you forgot me. Look over here. Come on, Anko, the voice coaxed. You do sound familiar, she mused, still completely out of it, turning and trying to make out the face. It had red hair and whiskers. You're cute too. He blushed. Anko, come on, you remember me, right? I'm Naruto. Remember? Your friend from the academy? You live with me. Naruto? Nah, are you too? Naruto, she experimented, trying to blink away the fuzz. That's right, this was Naruto. Naruto? Naruto. That's right, Anko, it's me, Naruto smiled, a single tear falling from his eye. And you're finally back. Naruto, she said quietly, returning the warm hug he gave her, lifting her slowly into a sitting position just so he could hug her again. I was so worried about you, Anko. You have no idea, he told her softly. Naruto, she still was having trouble believing it. She had been abandoned. Left for dead by her sensei. Someone she looked up to and respected, almost like a new father for her. But now she was back with him. Her closest friend for all those years. I spent months searching for you, Naruto explained, still just hugging her with his chin on her shoulder. I took every mission I could and searched the whole elemental nations. I always knew you were alive. Never once gave up hope on you. Anko smiled. This was him alright for sure. The person who got her started on becoming a kunoichi. The person who let her move and so she wouldn't be alone. The person who made her feel welcome and happy. A knock sounded at the door. Fox? Is everything alright? Yeah, old man, Naruto sniffed. Come in. She's awake, I see. Hiruzen smiled a genuine smile. Wonderful. How much longer until I can bring her home? That could be a while, Naruto, the old man sighed. She still needs to go through interrogation and potentially a trial. I'll be her personal guard, Naruto immediately volunteered. I'll stay with her during the interrogation and afterwards. Naruto, she'll be in a cell until. I don't care, Naruto narrowed his eyes. I just got Anko back. I'm staying by her side until she's ready to come back home. Very well, Naruto, he sighed once more. You're on temporary leave from ANBU to guard Anko Mitarashi. Naruto? Where are we? Anko asked, sleepily. We're home, Anko, we're back home. February 24th, 071. Naruto was disgusted, furious, pissed off, angered, every word possible combined. Anko had been interrogated. Fortunately, no torture was involved, Naruto saw to that personally, but she had been interrogated for 2 weeks, kept locked away in a prison cell. Now she was released, but under a 3-month probation to be watched under constant ANBU guard. Apparently, Naruto was a conflict of interest, so she was being monitored by other agents from the Black Ops. But that wasn't what pissed him off, not by a long shot. It was those damned villagers. They still called him demon, monster, murderer, and all those other names, but now, while their hatred remained with him, Anko became a new target of abuse. She was the snake whore of Konoha. The traitor. A spy for the enemy. Someone to be scorned. Less than human. She would never admit it, but he could see. It was slowly breaking her. Not her confidence, no, she had that to spare, but her trust and faith in others. That trust was already damn near shattered by Orochimaru, but with the villagers declaring her as no better than the snake Sannin, it finished. She just couldn't trust anymore, and Naruto was afraid for her. Naruto, come on. I want some dango, Anko declared, knocking loudly on his door. You're paying, so let's get a move on. If it's alright with you, Anko, I'd like to stay home today, Naruto admitted, opening his door and smiling sadly. What's got you in a mood? You back to red and broody already? She teased. I hate this. I hate what they're doing you, Anko. I hate it so much. He ground out, punching the door frame. I want to just kill them for doing that to you. You don't deserve it. I don't need your pity, Naruto. What they think doesn't bother me, she huffed. I'm not some fragile piece of glass, you know. Besides, haven't they been doing that to you your whole life? You noticed? No shit, dumbass. She hit him upside the head. How could I not? Wishful thinking, he chuckled. Come in and sit down. I want to tell you something. I'm a bit young, but if you want to be a bit frisky. I'm being serious, Anko. What the hell? Naruto blushed fiercely as Anko laughed at him. You should see yourself. Your face is even darker than your hair. Naruto sighed in frustration. Just sit down. So, what's Red and Broody got to say to me today? I just think it's about time you know everything about me, he admitted quietly. You already know my father was Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. Heir. You didn't know that? Must have slipped my mind, Anko chuckled sheepishly, sticking her tongue out slightly. Right, well, yeah. He was my dad. On the day actually, come over here. I have a better room for this. Stand up, sit down, stand up, Anko groaned, following the redhead towards the only room she'd never been in. Make up your mind. This, Naruto said, opening the door to a nursery, which was, other than the layer of dust that coated the room, in a rather pristine condition. A small crib, a dresser, photos of the family, and other baby supplies. Was my sister's room. You have a. Would have been. On the day of her birth, my sister was murdered. Oh, Anko didn't really know how to respond. Comforting others had never really been her strong point. That day, coincidentally enough, was my 6th birthday, the same day the nine-tailed fox attacked the village. Anko said nothing, just continued to listen. You see, Naruto explained, walking around the room in a sad reminiscence. The nine-tails is one of the nine-tailed beasts in the world. The tailed beasts are constructs of chakra given a consciousness, therefore, they can't actually die. So, what we decided to do is to seal them within humans. My mother, Kushina Uzumaki, was the previous Jinchuriki of the fox. While giving birth, the seal on a female Jinchuriki's seal weakens immensely, which is why my sister was murdered. She was used to kidnap my mother and rip the fox from her stomach, who was then put under a powerful genjutsu to attack the village. How do you? My father and mother restrained the fox and attempted to reseal him into a new vessel, he interrupted, continuing the story. They were successful, but in his panic to avoid being resealed, the fox skewered them both on his claw, mortally wounding them both. I am the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox, Anko, he looked at her seriously. And that same fox just so happens to be a friend of mine. What? She shouted. So, hold on, not only are you holding a goddamn giant fox monster in your gut, you're friends with it? Yes, though he won't admit it. Are you out of your mind? I need an honest answer from you, Anko. Does this change anything between us? We both have our burdens, you with that mark on your neck, Anko immediately grabbed the mark. And me with my associate. Why, huh? I need to know, Anko. We've been friends for over 5 years and I haven't told you before this. There is more that I can't tell you because of the limited trust one have from the fox, of course. But if you want to avoid me for fear that the fox will take over, you can move out whenever you want. But it's time you knew. Dumbass! She yelled, hitting him over the head. If anything, I'm pissed that you didn't tell me day one. How cool is it that my best friend has a giant monster stuck in his gut? That's fucking awesome. Huh. Now if that's all you wanted to share with me, you owe me twice the dango for lying to me. Now come on. March, Anko declared, leading the redhead out of the nursery. Naruto said nothing for a moment before openly laughing. Thanks, Anko. I don't know why I put up with you, but I'm glad I do. Damn right. She grinned at him, before turning back around. And you know, sorry about your sister and parents and stuff. Never thought I'd see the day where Apricot tries to comfort me, Naruto teased, ruffling her hair, not noticing the furious twitch of her eye. That's so cute. Naruto? Yes, Apricot? You're dead. Wait. Anko. That hurts. Ah. April 8th, 071. Damn, Itachi, he's gonna be late, Fox grumbled as he shot through the forest late into the night. He'd been searching for the Uchiha for the last half hour, but he had finally found him. Though the circumstances were more than confusing. Itachi was standing behind Shursui, who was staring out over a cliff face overlooking a waterfall and a rather rough river. A fall from that height and into those waters would kill just about anyone. It's too late to stop it now, Itachi, Shursui said, still facing towards the water. If civil war breaks out in the village, we're as good as finished. Our enemies will take advantage of our weakness and raise the village. There's always a way to stop these things, Shursui, Itachi spoke. Itachi, what's going on? Naruto asked, landing next to his friend. Naruto? Even better, you're both here, Shursui chuckled mirthlessly. The Uchiha's coup, it's going to happen. There's nothing we can do to stop it now. What? A coup? I thought those were just A and B rumors. Naruto spoke in a panic. You should know better than that, Naruto, Itachi told him flatly as the redhead removed his mask. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I did what I could to stop it. I was going to use my Kodo Amatsukami, but I couldn't. Shursui turned around. Lord Danzo took my right eye. He doesn't trust me. Danzo, Naruto growled. That's grounds for treason. He'll come for my left soon, you know, the one-eyed Uchiha said. And there's nothing I'll be able to do about it. I'll kill him, the Uzumaki glared. You can't do that, Naruto. You don't have the power or the standing in the village, Itachi shook his head. And the coup d'etat will still occur. Well then what are we supposed to do? We can't just sit here and let this happen. I want you two to take my other eye, before he gets it, Shursui requested, reaching toward his eye, and with a gut-wrenching squelch, he pulled it out and held it to them. Even Naruto had to repress a gag at that. Protect my eye from Danzo. You can't be serious. That's... I accept, Itachi volunteered, stepping forward. No. Hold on. Just Itachi, if you're willing to do it, let me, Naruto grabbed his friend's shoulder. You're already being doubted for your loyalties to the Leaf because you're an Uchiha, even I can tell that much. Let me take it. That would fall harder on your shoulders, my friend. I don't care, I'll take it. Naruto quickly ran through a series of hand seals and slammed his palm to the ground. Summoning Jutsu. Greetings, my lord, the fox spoke in a subservient tone, doing the fox equivalent of a bow. She was no bigger than a cat with massive ears and a bushy tail, her fur a dusty brown on the back and a whiter color on the stomach. She also had a small red sack on her back. How may I serve you today? Aiko, I need you to take this with you to the Kitsune Temple and keep it protected and preserved. Can you do that for me? Of course, my lord, the fox replied, removing a small scroll from the sack and unrolling it. Please seal it in here. Naruto did so and dismissed the summon once the scroll was once again secured and returned to facing Shursui. So, what now? You can't continue in the AMBU missing one eye, let alone both. I think it's rather simple, don't you? Shursui said, taking a few steps back towards the edge of the cliff face, small pebbles falling into the raging rapids below. You can't be serious, Shursui. Are you out of your mind? Naruto demanded, stepping forward to stop him, but was prevented by Itachi. Itachi, what are you? If you're really my friend, Naruto, you'll let me go, Shursui smiled sadly. With my death, the circumstances will change. Itachi will have a chance to protect both the village and the honor of the Uchiha. Shursui. You can't! Naruto shouted, struggling in Itachi's grip. I've left a note behind already. My closest friends, please. Protect the village in my place, Shursui smiled, before falling backwards to his own self-imposed demise. Shursui! Naruto roared, grasping at nothing but air in his failed attempt to catch his hand. He did what he felt was right, Naruto, Itachi said, placing a hand and feeling a warm stream of tears fall from his eyes. There's nothing to be done now. I know, Naruto whispered before turning to face Itachi, shocked at what he saw. Itachi! You're your eyes! I see. Itachi felt the tears with his fingers and looked at them, only to show that they weren't tears at all, but blood. Unsheathing his tanto, he looked at his own eyes. They were no longer the three-tomo pattern or the onyx black orbs they used to be. Now there was a red eye with a black three-pronged shuriken shape in the center. The center of the shuriken shape was a large open circle and a ring passed through the center of the shuriken's blades. So it seems that this was his plan. What was? Itachi, you're not making any sense. What happened to your eyes? Naruto demanded. The Manjikyu Sharingan. The final evolutionary form of the Sharingan, Itachi said. The Sharingan awakens under intense feelings of pressure or loss and evolves alongside those feelings. It is said that under the extreme emotional distress of losing one of the people closest to your heart, the Manjikyu will awaken. So he died to give you more power? To protect the leaf? It seems as if that is the case. Come, Naruto. Speak nothing of what you've heard or seen here to anyone, no matter the circumstances. Right. That evening, Naruto's mindscape. Kid, I don't think you understand what you just did, the fox growled. What do you mean? You took a Sharingan. One of those bastardized eyes of Madara Uchiha. The fox roared. You're lucky I put up with you speaking to those wretched creatures. Damn those Uchiha. You're demonizing a clan for the actions of a few, Kyuubi, Naruto shook his head. I cannot agree with you. Itachi is my best friend and Shursui was very close to me as well. Those wretched eyes, the eyes of the vile offspring of the sage. You're not making any sense. 9. Care to tell me the story? TCH. Fine, Kit, but only to show you that the Uchiha are the true monsters of the world, not us-tailed beasts. The fox prepared to tell his tale. The Sage of Six Paths, my creator, had 2 children. Those children were given the names Azura and Indra, Indra the eldest and Azura the younger, though they were twins. Indra was said to be incredibly skilled in the art of Nishu, the ninja creed that the sage developed. It wasn't your foolish human ninjutsu, it was Nishu. I see. Nishu wasn't a tool of war, was it? You can be too smart for your own good, Kit. Yes, Nishu was a way of life and peace. It was Indra who developed your human hand seals and ninjutsu, though at the time they were used to help the quality of life. Starting fires, watering fields, and anything to help the people survive. When it came time to pass the mantle on to his children, the sage had to choose between his 2 sons. His eldest, the strongest and the one who desired to be named the sage's successor, and the youngest, one who was far weaker and had no desire to do anything aside from assist his brother. The sage chose the youngest, as he was known to work alongside others, while the eldest did everything alone. A wise yet dangerous decision. Yes. You see, the eldest brother Indra had witnessed the death of his pet years prior, and developed the very first Sharingan. With it comes greed and evil. With his brother the successor, the eldest brother left only to return many years later to attack and attempt to murder his brother and all of his followers. It is said that their descendants continue to battle for supremacy to this very day, their reincarnations destined to be enemies from their birth. I don't particularly believe in destiny, but I do understand that conflict. So if I were to guess, the Uchiha were direct descendants of the elder brother? Yes. I believe the damned first Hokage was a descendant of the youngest. The Senju clan? Naruto looked surprised. That means it's possible that I'm actually a descendant of the sage. Don't compare yourself to him. You may be tolerable for a human Kit, but you are nowhere near his legacy. Of course, I know that, but it's still neat to think about. Unfortunately, that doesn't change my opinion on the Sharingan. Whether it's a gift or a curse is for the user to decide. Just as I'm not evil for being your jailer, the Uchiha are not evil for holding the Sharingan. I will not support this decision, Kit, but I am powerless to stop it. You will regret holding that eye in time. Thank you for your concern, QB. It means a lot to me. I'm not concerned, foolish Kit, I just wish for the destruction of that thrice-damned clan. It was an Uchiha who possessed me to attack your village and kill your sister, you know. I cannot demonize a clan for the actions of one, Naruto shook his head. But should the opportunity come, I will kill that man for what he's done to my village, myself, and to you. TCH. April 17th, 071. I trust you know what you're doing, Naruto, Hiruzen warned. So I will drop the matter. Yes, Lord Hokage. Naruto and Itachi had been under heavy suspicion by the military police, run by the Uchiha clan, for the murder of Shursui, but there was no evidence that they committed the murder. They were watched, interrogated, and heavily suspected, but never proved anything. And take the mask off. You're Naruto right now, not Fox. Sure thing, old man, he replied, removing the mask. Now, Naruto, your 12th birthday is coming in 6 months' time. I think it's time you begin to try and harness the fox's power. I see, Naruto nodded. And I assume Jiraiya has informed you of my arrangements with him? Yes. I cannot agree with your decision to trust the fox, Naruto, but I believe you are doing what you believe to be best. However, you must know that I will always protect the village first, no matter how highly I think of you. Same goes for me. Even though most people hate me for what I hold, I don't care. My father wished to protect them, but he died to protect me. I will do as he wished in his stead. So much like Minato, if only he were a bit older I could finally retire the third side. Well, in order for you to accomplish this, I requested. Hey kid! Did ya miss me? A new voice said, hopping in through the window. Jiraiya to train you, he finished, giving the sage a withering look. Must you refuse to use the door? Come on, Sarutobi-sensei. Windows are so much more freeing. I heard the Raikage does the same. Hey pervy sage, how's it going? I told you not to call me that, kid. I told you not to write a porn novel about me and Anko, but did you listen? No. You're just lucky that Anko hasn't realized it yet, or she'd hang you from the Hokage monument by your boxers. Before Jiraiya could continue, Naruto finished what he was saying. And for the last time, we are not dating. I'm 11. What's your point, kid? Your parents got together at 13 and had you at 19. Pretty sure my old man was 17, and it's not uncommon for clan heirs to have kids at 15 or 16. Well, I think I should be a bit older before doing any of that perverted crap you write about. So, a fan of my work, are we? Jiraiya gave a perverse giggle. I knew it. Shut up. Anyway, the third side. He really needed to retire. I'd like the two of you to go on another training trip. I don't care how long it takes, just be back by the end of February. I can't have Naruto on leave for that long, he's important to the ANBU. Righto. You up for another trip, kid? Enko is gonna kill me, Naruto groaned, dreading having to tell her that he'd be missing another birthday, and she'd be by herself for almost a year. And you say you aren't dating. You're practically married. Shut up, you old pervert. February 8th, 072. You gonna go see the wife? Jiraiya giggled. Oh, shut up, you perv. No, I need to talk to Itachi about certain things. Do whatever you want, kid. I'm heading to a hotel for the night. We only got in because I'm the legendary Jiraiya. They don't just let anyone in after the gates close, you know. I really can't stand you sometimes. Nice talking to ya, kid. See you around. With that, the white-haired Sannin bounded off, while Naruto headed towards the Hokage's office to get a report. Time skip. Something is wrong, Naruto thought to himself, racing towards the Uchiha district. He couldn't figure out what it was, but he just had this feeling. The Hokage tower was totally empty. It was never totally empty. The ANBU guard was heavier than usual, but only on one side of town. That side of town was opposite to where the Uchiha district was. Whatever happens, I pray I'm not too late. Unfortunately, he would be too late. He arrived just in time to see Sasuke Uchiha, Itachi's younger brother, collapse in the street. There were corpses lining the walls, blood coating windows, and the stench of death was near visible. Itachi! Naruto roared, glaring at his best friend, whose face and sword were coated in blood, but a single tear ran down his eye. Naruto. You're back. Have you come here to test my limits as well? He asked, preparing for combat with his longtime best friend. What did you do? You slaughtered your own clan. He yelled again, preparing himself for his own battle. What about Shursui? Did you forget what we promised him? To restore honor to the Uchiha and protect the village? How does this bring honor to the clan? There is honor in death. They were used to test my abilities. They were so absorbed in their own worth and in the prowess of their own eyes, that they lost track of my own. You were perhaps the only one who knew the full extent of my power. Everyone knows you're a prodigy, Itachi. A once-in-a-lifetime goddamn powerhouse. But that doesn't give you the right to slaughter your people. I'm afraid we've spoken long enough. Itachi closed his left eye briefly and a streak of blood dripped down. Tsukuyami. Time seemed to freeze for Naruto. The sky turned blood red, his surroundings blackened. The only sound he could make out was the cawing of crows, before he heard Itachi once more. Welcome to the world of Tsukuyami, Itachi spoke, his voice echoing around the world in a disembodied way. Here I am God. I control time, space, and everything in between. What you see, what you hear, and what you feel are crafted by me. Is this what happened to you? Did the power of those damned eyes corrupt you, Itachi? Naruto demanded. You seem to be short-sighted today, Naruto. Perhaps I should remind you of your own pains so you may see clearly once more, Itachi declared. The scenery quickly changed. He was now kneeling in a ceiling circle, the same circle that was there on his 6th birthday. He was watching the giant fox kill his parents in front of his very eyes. For the next 72 hours you will watch as the fox murders everyone you've ever felt close to over and over again. You can tell yourself it's not real, that it's all an illusion, but that won't stop the anguish you'll feel. Itachi! Naruto roared, trying to move as the fox shook his parents off his mighty claws and reached for him again, this time Enko taking the claw for him. It felt like days passed as he watched over and over again his parents, Enko, Jiraiya, the old man, Tuchi, Shursui, everyone he'd ever gotten to know. Skewered, shaken off, and another took their place. My illusion may become your reality, Naruto, Itachi said. Your short-sightedness blinds you. I'm not blind to your insanity. Naruto roared. Stop this. This will only stop when you begin to see red, Itachi said coldly. Only 71 hours and 59 minutes to go. Itachi. Sure enough, the time passed. 3 days of agony, before it ended. Naruto returned to the real world and collapsed on his knees panting. Now that you are ready to see red, perhaps your short-sightedness will end. Naruto panted out, unable to move and barely able to stay conscious. Remember, Naruto, my illusion is and will be your reality, the Uchiha told him darkly, approaching him, and stabbing a kunai directly into his left eye. Goodbye, Naruto. April 21st, 071 flashback. So, tomorrow? Itachi asked, sitting on the rooftops as he and his closest friend gazed out into the night sky. Yeah, Anko's pissed, Naruto sighed. I really hope she understands. She means so much to me, you know? You love her, the Uchiha stated simply. What the hell, Itachi? Naruto blushed. I don't see what's wrong with that. The three of us have been friends for years. Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that I'm 11. I'm too young for that. You can't be too young for love, Naruto. Besides, in this life, it is best to find things that bring you happiness and hold on tightly to them. Never let them go because you never know when you won't be able to hold them again. You've always been too philosophical for your own good, you know that? I'm not sure I follow what you mean. Sure you don't, Uchiha. Why'd you call me out here anyway? Itachi sat in silence for a moment, simply thinking. I wish to make a request from you, as my closest friend. Well, yeah? What's up? Should anything happen to me, I want you to look after Sasuke. Wait, what? Naruto demanded. What the hell do you think is going to happen to you, Itachi? I don't know, Naruto. It's simply a feeling I have, Itachi replied simply, still gazing at the moon. Perhaps the feeling means nothing, but I do fear for the future. Never thought I'd see the day, Naruto scoffed. Fine. I'll keep an eye on that brother of yours. He really means a lot to you. He's my brother. It's my job to be there for him, even if it's only as an obstacle, even if he hates me. TCH, don't go all emo on me. I apologize. It's just very important to me that Sasuke is safe. He's my brother. You know the pain of losing a sibling, even if it's one you've never met. While I sympathize with your pain, I cannot understand it, and I never truly wish to. Yeah, Naruto admitted. I mean, I never met her, but it doesn't mean it hurts any less, you know? I really did wish to meet her. That was what I wanted almost more than anything else. That's why I'm asking you. As my best friend and as someone who knows the pain of losing someone you love. Alright, you've got a deal, Itachi. Just do the same for me, okay? If I get in over my head, keep an eye on Anko. It would break me if something happened to her because I went off and got myself killed. I understand. Itachi sat in silence for a moment before donning an uncharacteristic smirk. I told you loved her. Damn it, Itachi. February 8th, 072 flashback Naruto's Mindscape. So, you are the nine-tailed fox I've heard so much about, Itachi said simply, gazing up towards the fox with an impassive look. Filthy Uchiha, he growled, blasting the young teen with the full might of his killer intent. How are you here? You're far from strong enough to control me. I have no desire to control you. I've simply come to speak with you while Naruto is otherwise preoccupied. Itachi gestured to Naruto, who was standing and staring at nothing, his eyes glazed over blankly. If you weren't outside of this damned seal with the kit, I'd rip you to meat and bone. I'm surprised you aren't thankful. You seem to have an immense distaste for my clan. I'll thank you for ridding the world of those filthy ingrates by making your death quick. Very well, I shall speak my piece and then leave your presence. I want you to let Naruto implant a Sharingan into his left eye. What? The fox roared, slamming himself against the seal. How dare you request he put one of those vile abominations inside himself? Because of what I've discovered, Itachi said simply. You see, I've met Madara Uchiha. I'll slaughter you and hang your flesh for the vultures. Madara assisted me in slaughtering the clan and offered me shelter in his organization, known as the Akatsuki, Itachi told him. He said that the figurehead was someone very special, a direct descendant of the legendary Sage of Six Paths. Damn you, Madara Uchiha. I wish to give Naruto the chance to gain the power he needs. Not only will he need to be far stronger should Madara come to power, but if there is any truth to his puppet being a descendant of the sage. The world as we know it will come to an end, the fox growled. Tell me, Uchiha, why I shouldn't send you to the gut of the Shinigami for being in my presence. Because, whether you admit it or not, you care for Naruto. I wish to ensure that he is safe. And that's why you've sent his mental state into turmoil, the Kyuubi said, gesturing to the mindscape around them. The sky was beginning to crack and the light was turning back into darkness. The truth of this day cannot be revealed to anyone. The rumors of the Uchiha coup d'etat were successfully quelled for all aside from Naruto, and only my direct superiors know of my orders. I've done all that I can. And you expect me to listen to one of the vilest kinds of humans I've had the pity of laying eyes on? Especially one leaving to align with the human I despise more than every other human combined? My allegiance is to the leaf, just as it has always been and always will be. I would like your assistance, though I do not require it. Begone, vile human. Leave my presence. Do not harm the kid any further. I will be destroying his left eye to encourage your decision. The fox growled at this. A pleasure to meet you, Ninetails. I've always wanted to see you up close for myself. February 8, 072 with Arisen Sarutobi. That wasn't part of your mission, Itachi, the third warned. Naruto was not supposed to have returned yet. I hadn't anticipated his presence. Still, I'm sorry, Itachi, the old man sighed. I never wanted you to have such a task. My allegiance is and always will be to the leaf, Lord Hokage. And you're sure of this? It's far too late to turn back. I will do my best to report to Lord Jiraiya when I can. And what of Naruto? He's lost an eye. What do you expect him to do now? You know he'll have to leave ANBU. No, he won't, Itachi shook his head. He has Shursei's eye. I had a feeling the two of you were involved. Why did you kill Shursei? Shursei killed himself and asked us to protect his eye. Danzo took his right eye, while Naruto holds his left in his summon's possession. Danzo the third growled. I've had enough of his treachery. I'm disbanding Root. Push Naruto to accept the eye. I doubt he'll use it without any persuasion. Do what you have to. Goodbye, Itachi. And thank you for what you've done. I am a shinobi of the leaf, it is my duty. Remember to tell Danzo I'll be watching. Do not renege on my deal. I know, Itachi, I know. February 13th, 072. Damn it, where is he? Anko demanded. I don't care what top-secret bullshit is going on, I want to see him. Hey now, calm down, little lady. That is the Hokage you're speaking to. I don't care if it's Kami himself. Where's Naruto? Anko, the elderly third replied. You'll see him soon. You have to understand that this is a matter of village security. Even if all the clan heads came and demanded to see Naruto now, I wouldn't allow it. Only 3 people have access to his room, including myself and Jiraiya. I knew the kid would pick a feisty one, Jiraiya giggled. You're that old perv he keeps telling me about that takes him away on my birthdays. She growled. And don't think I haven't heard of Ko and Ruto in that disgusting novel of yours. Hey, now calm down, Jiraiya broke into a nervous sweat. No need to get vile. Hidden shadow snake hands. Ah. At least keep her busy for a while, Jiraiya, the elderly Hokage sighed. Just until we're ready. Heading down to the secure top-secret medical ward in the Hokage Tower, the old man passed by the 2 ANBU guards and entered the redhead's room. Old man? Is that you? A voice groaned. Where the hell am I? Naruto, I'm glad you're awake, the old man smiled. How are you feeling? I'd like nothing more than to spend the day beating Itachi with his own limbs, Naruto scoffed. I understand, but unfortunately, he managed to escape. He's been marked as an S-rank missing mean with an order to kill on sight. I'm sorry, Naruto. I see, the redhead sighed. Has Anko heard? Yes. She's been quite adamant to see you. I'm surprised she's not broken up about it. The two were close. Not as close as the two of you were. I think she knows that. Ah. The room was quiet for a minute. So what now? Itachi destroyed my eye? Well, as you know, any physical deficiencies require an honorable discharge from ANBU. I see, so I have to give up my mask, do I? Naruto sighed. It's my own damn fault. I never learned what his Manjiki did. I was overconfident that I could dispel his genjutsu from my experience fighting against him. I apologize, Lord Hokage. Nonsense, Naruto. You were simply in a situation of extreme mental stress. I'll return my mask after I am allowed to leave, Lord Hokage. You know, we could attempt to find a donor for you. Medical jutsu allows for eye transplants rather safely, you know. Kakashi had one done in the field. Ah, Naruto whispered. So, when did he tell you? I'm sorry? I'm not an idiot, old man. You know I have it. When did he tell you? I'm not sure I follow, Naruto, he lied. Mark my words, old man, Naruto glared. You know something. I know Itachi. He does everything for a reason. For some reason, he wanted me to use Shusui's eye. Whether this whole thing was a stage for me losing my eye or not, I don't know. But I know he wanted me to use it and that you're in on it. I cannot confirm or deny these allegations, Naruto. You know, no answer to that sounds sane, Naruto let out a mirthless chuckle. I could accuse you of conspiring against the leaf. I could accuse Itachi of making my entire life into a genjutsu. I could say Itachi went insane by the power of his Sharingan and took my eye on a whim. Somehow, I believe all of them and none of them all at once. I sound crazy, don't I? Would you like to replace your eye, Naruto? The doctor who's been seeing you is one of my most trusted associates. He works on all of our high-profile cases that have to do with village security. You're not very good at being subtle, old man. I have to ask the fox first, you know. Give me a moment. The old man watched as Naruto went into a trance for several seconds before opening his eyes once more. Looks like the fox knows what's going on. Really? The old man managed to repress his fear. Yeah, but he won't tell me, Naruto narrowed his eyes. This whole thing smells like a conspiracy. You can tell me, old man. I'm a leaf shinobi through and through. Naruto, I cannot allow you to continue making wild and baseless accusations. Would you like to receive an eye transplant, or would you like to be honorably discharged from ANBU and take a position as a jounin? Naruto narrowed his eye before flying through hand seals and slamming one on the ground, summoning the small fennec fox from before. Get me the eye. Right away, my lord, the fox bowed and puffed away. February 14th, 072. Anko? Naruto called. Anko? Naruto! She shouted, charging the young redhead into a tackling hug. You're okay. Hey, calm down. He chuckled. You don't think I'd kick the bucket that easily, do ya? Miss Midarashi. Of course not, but it doesn't mean I was any less worried, Anko admitted, squeezing him even tighter. First you disappear for 9 odd months and then, the day you come back, Itachi kills his entire clan and then I hear you got wrapped up into it. Never thought you'd admit to being worried about me. Miss Midarashi, I. Of course I was, dumbass. Well, good. Miss Midarashi. What? She snapped, looking up at an ANBU agent. Who the hell are you and how long have you been standing there? Since before you tackled FO Naruto, Kat replied. You may want to take a look at him before you decide to smother him anymore. What are you? She backed up and took a good look. Oh god, Naruto. Hey, don't freak out, it's not. That fucking bastard. Anko roared. I'll kill him. I'll feed him to my snakes. I'll rip his legs out and… Cat, you can go, I'll be fine, Naruto sighed. Understood, Fox. Once his kneecap is out, I'll use it to force feed him oil and light his gut on fire from the inside. And then I'll LMMPH. Naruto managed to stop the yells from her mouth by covering it with his own. Are you done now? Anko blinked a few times and turned a shade of atomic red before she caught back up to what just happened. What the hell, Naruto? Don't just come over here and MMPH. You don't have to yell, you know? Naruto chuckled. Damn it, Naruto. Stop that. I don't want to. But that's I mean we're just… I figured it was about time, Naruto shrugged. Pretty much everyone expects this anyway. What on earth are you talking about? I love you. Why, Anko blinked. Of course I do, Anko. I've known you for years, how could I not? You mean everything to me. I can't imagine not living with you, wasting all my hard-earned Ryo on your dango, or trying to prevent you from burning down my house. None of those are good things, she deadpanned, but was still blushing bright red. But they're all things that I do for you. That makes them good things. So, is this okay? Think we can give us a shot? You're a dumbass, Anko sighed, leaning forward and kissing him herself. You did this now so I'd go easy on you, didn't you? Why? Me? No, he denied, enjoying the purple-haired girl resting her head on his chest. So that's it, huh? You're blind? Indeed, Naruto came home with bandages covering both of his eyes. For the moment, at least, he couldn't see anything at all. Not quite. I tried to tell you earlier, he chuckled. You seemed a bit busy planning your torture and execution of one traitorous Uchiha. Right, she chuckled sheepishly before catching up. Wait a second, if you're not blind, what the hell happened to your eyes? It's kind of a long story. Mind helping me inside? Lazy ass, she grumbled. Hey, I can't see anything. Well then, you're lucky I love you, aren't you? More than you could ever imagine, Enko, more than you could ever imagine. February 15th, 072. What the hell? Naruto shouted. Naruto? What's wrong? Well, that's something you don't see every day. Initially, Enko was in a panicked rush, half breaking down the door into his bathroom after he screamed, but now her tone was much more intrigued. Enko, why didn't you knock? He shouted back, trying to cover his important bits with a towel. Don't just stare. Enko licked her lips. How old are we again? Enko, get out. All right. You'd think the student of Jiraiya would be less of a prude. Enko rolled her eyes, but turned around. What the hell were you shouting about anyway? I thought you were being attacked or some shit. I'll show you after I get dressed. Can I watch? No. Why is my own boyfriend cock-blocking himself from me? She mumbled. We're 12. What's your point? Just Naruto rubbed his eyes. At least wait until we're a bit older. And how long is that exactly? I don't know, Enko. 15? 16? Cammy, just let me change. Well, alright, but if you ever want to start earlier. Enko. A few minutes of embarrassment later, Naruto managed to get changed without the purple-haired Kunoichi jumping him. Alright, could you not panic when I come down? He requested from the top of the stairs. If you're not down here in 5 seconds, I'll drag you down and investigate every inch of you until I figure out what's wrong, she warned. Alright, fine, whatever, Naruto grumbled, trudging down the stairs. Happy now? What the fuck is wrong with your eyes? Enko asked bluntly. I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't have screamed. Why are we yelling? I don't know. Let's just, Naruto groaned and slammed his head into the table. Let's just have some breakfast, okay? I'll have a summon get the Hokage and maybe he can figure out whatever this is. In the meantime, you can tell me the entire story of what happened with your eyes. Don't think you can distract me again like yesterday. Alright, Naruto blushed at the extraordinary long make-out session the two had had the previous day after Naruto's surprise confession. It was all he could do to get Enko into her own bed instead of his summoning jutsu. Yes, my lord, Aiko said, initiating her usual fox-like bow before noticing something. If I may, what happened to your eyes? That's what we're trying to find out. Could you go get Lord Third and tell him to come here? Tell him it's an emergency. Of course, my lord, she replied, disappearing with a puff of smoke. Alright, now I believe you have a story to tell. Time skip. And then I'll flay the skin from his scalp and use it to tie him up by his balls on the Hokage monument. I'll use his fingers as pincushions and hammer nails under his toenails. I'll feed his liver to my snakes and his kidney too. Enko was, fortunately, interrupted by a loud knocking. Naruto? It's me, what's the emergency? Thank Kami, Naruto groaned, getting, frankly, a little grossed out by Enko's plans to torture and murder Itachi in revenge. It's open. Come in and don't bring anyone with you. Alright, Naruto. You heard him, cat boar. Stay out here and ensure no one enters. Yes, Lord Hokage. What's the problem, Naruto? The professor asked, entering their humble home. What was so important, oh my? Yeah, no kidding. I screamed my head off this morning. At least I got a show out of it, Enko said, wiggling her eyebrows. Enko, he groaned. Old man, do you have any idea what the hell happened to my eyes? Actually, I do know what they are, but I have no idea how it happened, he replied, stroking his chin in thought. Though from what Jiraiya told me, yours are slightly different. Will you just tell me why the hell my eyes look like this? Naruto demanded, gesturing to the two orbs. Sure enough, they were much different than the last time. The right one was the same color, but instead of a bright blue orb with a black pupil, it was a bright blue orb with concentric rings surrounding the center. The right one, oddly enough, was the color of the Sharingan, with Shurisui's four-pronged shuriken design in the center, but also had the same concentric rings rippling out from the center. Well, Naruto, I believe you've awakened the Rinnegan, though I don't know whether or not you've retained the abilities of Shurisui's eye. You'll have to experiment with that. What the hell does that mean? Well, according to legend, the Rinnegan is one of the three great Dijutsu, surpassing both the Sharingan and the Byakugan, he explained. It was said that the first wielder was none other than the Sage of Six Paths himself. The Sage of what now? Anko asked. Anko, don't tell me you don't know the Sage of Six Paths, Naruto groaned, sounding almost disappointed. Hey, don't say it like that. I'm not an idiot, I just don't know who this guy is. Anko whined. Is he some sort of super hermit or something? What's so special about him? He's Awao. Naruto groaned again, and grabbed his head. Great, you pissed him off. Naruto, what's wrong? Are you alright? Hiruzen asked, slightly panicking. Yeah, just give me a minute. The sage is somewhat of a sensitive topic for the fox. Just let me calm him down. Naruto's mindscape. That wench dares to question the might of father? I'll flay her alive and see her burn in the abyss. Would you shut your dumb foxy ass up? Naruto shouted, as the fox looked back at him almost shocked that someone had the audacity to speak to him like that. You're giving me a splitting headache. First of all, I need to figure out what the hell happened to my eyes, then I need to spend some time figuring out what the hell just happened to my life, and then, and only then, can we deal with your whining. You have some major balls, Kit, talking to me that way. I almost respect it almost. Well, now that we've both calmed down, Naruto sighed and plopped down on the floor. I'm sure Anko didn't mean anything by it. If the two of you could get along even half as well as you and I do, it'd mean everything to me. Anko is my most important person and you're quite a close friend as well. I do not recall agreeing to you calling us friends. Oh, get over it, Foxface, Naruto rolled his eyes. You haven't had anyone close to you since the sage. I told you when we were with Jiraiya. I really don't want your power, but if you want to become partners then I would be down with it. You're my friend whether you want to be or not, and one day you'll admit that I'm yours. TCH. Anyway, since this Rinnegan has something to do with the sage, think you can tell me about it. And why should I? Are we gonna do this again? You asking why you should bother? I'll give you a decent reason. We do witty banter, and then you crack and tell me? Or can we just get to it this time? TCH. I knew it. Shut it, Kit, the fox huffed, but started talking anyway. The sage. I don't suppose I could get his name? The fox glared at him. Hagoromo Otsutsuki. Thanks, buddy. The sage possessed the legendary eyes of the Rinnegan, the fox said, ignoring Naruto entirely. Now, father told us many of the powers his eyes held, but not all of them. As you know, he was the strongest human or being to ever roam this earth, except perhaps the 10 Tails, as his brother was required to assist him in that fight. You also may recall that your hand seals and ninjutsu didn't exist until his son, Indra, was born. This is because of his eyes, the Rinnegan, and because his mother was the first woman to ever possess chakra. The Rinnegan, like the Sharingan, allows for the possessor to see the flow of chakra, however, not in such minute detail as the Byakugan is said to. It also allows the user mastery over the 5 nature transformations with near-perfect natural chakra control. Holy crap! Naruto's jaw dropped. That's incredible. No wonder he was such a powerhouse. TCH. You can't begin to imagine it, Kit. That's simply a byproduct of the eyes, it's not one of its abilities. You see, father's nickname comes from the eye's 6 powers. I can only presume that those 6 powers come with all Rinnegan users, but, as the Sharingan has demonstrated, it is possible that there are differences. That's overpowered as shit. Why do you think he was hailed as a god? You humans have no idea of the extent of his true strength, the fox shook his head. Would you be willing to tell me the other powers of the eyes in exchange for something? And what could you offer me? You like being known and feared, right? I'll get your name out there. I'll make it publicly known that I am the Jinchuriki of you. I'll become so strong, mention of my name will be associated with you, and will send shivers down the spines of every enemy of the leaf to ever exist. You know, that's almost disturbing coming from you, Kit. I told you those Sharingan would turn you evil. I'm not turning evil, I just figured I'd offer you something. Telling me the strengths of the strongest Dijutsu ever to exist is a lot more than just giving me your life story, you know. Besides, I'm kinda sick of this whole hide the fact that I'm harboring a giant fox shtick anyway. It's kinda stupid. I'm not ashamed of you nor am I afraid of you. Why should I care what others think? The people that matter don't care that you're here. Well, excluding you, I guess. TCH. Humans and their sentimentality. So, you gonna tell me what I can do or what? I suppose I could assist you if only to boost the reputation of the Fox clan even further, the Fox sighed. I did request you to make them feared, didn't I? And if we become partners, I could give you the reins sometimes, you know? I heard the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails in the Hidden Cloud has perfect control over his tailed beast. TCH. Control. Fair point. They're partners. You're not tools to be controlled. I shouldn't have said it like that, Naruto apologized, actually sounding sincere. I'll inform you of what I know of your Rinnegan no more. We may discuss terms at a later date should I decide that it would be in my best interest. You're the best, QB. TCH, the fox scoffed, but began to explain the ocular abilities. I'll only go through this once. As the Sage of Six Paths, Father held 6 powers that were directly caused by his eyes. The first is the Deva Path, the realm of gods and bliss, homeland of the divine deities. This power was a favorite of Father's, so I know the most about it. It is, essentially, the control over the natural forces of gravitation. That alone is incredibly powerful. Sweet Kami, how powerful was this guy? I recall 3 techniques: heavenly subjugation of the omnipresent God, heavenly attraction of all creation, and planetary devastation, the final of which was used to an extreme degree to create what you humans know as the moon. Those are really pretentious names, you know that? I am translating for you, you know. Language doesn't just stagnate for 1,000 years. He said Shinra Tensei, Bansho Tenin, and Chibaku Tensei. Essentially, one is a gravitational push, one is a gravitational pull, and the final is creating an artificial point of supreme gravitational force that will rip the very earth apart. How about almighty push, heavenly attraction, and we can keep the last one. Those names are really confusing. TCH, stupid human. Right, anyway, how about the rest of them? After quite a long discussion on the various paths of the Rinnegan, Naruto's head was slightly dizzy. Deva, Asura, human, Preta, animal, and Naraka. Sweet Kami, I could destroy the world. I really hope you do, Kit. I was just joking. Calm down, Fox, Naruto rolled his eyes. So, before I go wild and test this shit, wanna tell me some drawbacks? Like? Come on, you're telling me I can bring back the dead with no side effects? Seriously? Father was a god among men. If there were side effects, they were truly trivial, the fox scoffed. Barring the fact that the amount of time the person you are resurrecting has been dead will be taken off your own life. There it is, Naruto sighed. Well, that's not too bad, I guess. I wouldn't revive someone after more than an hour or so. Although it does rise exponentially after about an hour, the fox mused. This may be important. I don't really want to have to reform, after all. What? Well, let's put it this way. For the first hour, it's normal. After that, who knows? Let's just say don't revive anyone and leave it at that. Unless it's an emergency. Right. And you're gonna say that it's so you don't have to reform and not because you care about me? Why would I care about you, Kit? TCH. Love you too, Foxface. I've given you more information than you deserve. Now go make my name feared or I'll eat you alive. I thought you weren't interested in that. Where'd you get that idea from, Kit? Nothing makes me more overjoyed than watching weak humans tremble in my presence as I devour them whole. I think this is the start of a beautiful partnership. Outside. Anko, if I have an A and B, you go get you Dango, will you please stop that? The old man sighed. Of course. Anko smiled, pulling back with her permanent marker. Why didn't you start with that? I'll have 3 orders of. Well, that's better, Naruto yawned and stretched slightly. How long was I gone? About half an hour. Are you alright? Damn, that long? The redhead blinked. Anko drew on my face, didn't she? You know me so well. Anko stuck her tongue out and draped herself over his shoulders. But no, you woke up before I could. Could we please focus? The elderly Hokage sighed. What happened and why did it take so long? Right, so, you're right about the fact that the sage had the Rinnegan. Oh yeah, and Anko, the Sage of Six Paths is kinda a big deal to the fox. He's the progenitor of chakra. He invented Nishu, the ninja creed, which led to the creation of ninjutsu and our shinobi way of life. So, a super hermit? Ow, damn it, Anko. Naruto gripped his head. Stop that. I was just teasing, tell the fox to calm his tits. Naruto. Focus. Hiruzen practically shouted. Right. Anyway, apparently I have some rather incredible capabilities now. The most basic power of the eyes is the potential to master all 5 elements, and near flawless chakra control. That's not even getting into what the powers of the eyes do. That's like how the Uchiha all have a fire affinity, and the Uzumaki have high chakra levels and lifespans. Neither Anko nor Hiruzen said a word for a long time, processing that statement. So, Anko started. I have full claim over you, right? Anko, Naruto groaned. What? Just because I love you doesn't mean you aren't gonna become a hot commodity. I'm claiming you now. Though if you're into it, I'm not opposed to some girl-on-girl if you are. Before Naruto could sputter out any denials, which would obviously be a lie, the elderly Hokage shot backwards in a stream of blood from his nose. Great. You knocked the Hokage out. Hey, it's not my fault I'm this hot. Just wait a few years, these things, she enunciated, grabbing and puffing out her budding chest. Can only get bigger and better, am I right? Naruto joined the old man on the ground right after, sporting an even bigger nosebleed. Well, if you two are just gonna lie there, Anko shrugged and dragged Naruto back to his bedroom. I'll just leave you here and go get some dango. I'm sure you don't mind paying, do you, unconscious Naruto? Oh, why thank you. I am the sexiest kunoichi in the leaf, so glad you noticed. April 2nd, 072. Fire style, Grand Fireball Jutsu. Water style, Water Encampment Wall. Naruto answered, quickly forming a wall of water to protect himself. Earth style, Earth Dragon Bullet. Lightning style, Electromagnetic Murder. Water style, Water Bullets. Fire style, Dragon Flame Bullet. Not quite. His opponent shouted, as the water bullets quickly shot through his fire attack and collided with his chest. The correct jutsu was Earth style, Mud Wall. Ugh, Naruto groaned. Couldn't be bothered to hold back, could you? Well, do you want to get better, or do you want to not be in pain? Kakashi gave him one of his eye smiles. I want to take a break. Never thought I'd see the day you ran out of energy, Kakashi chuckled. I'm not out of energy. I've been training nonstop for almost 2 months ever since I got these stupid eyes. Damn them, regardless of how awesome they are. Well, lucky for you, you're back on duty tomorrow. You can have the rest of the day to recuperate. Thank Kami, he sighed in relief. Oh, one more thing. After a few missions, you're taking Itachi's spot. And? Oh, that's right, you were gone. Well, after you left, an opening came up for a captain, so I gave the position to Itachi. You'll be captain of your own ANBU squad, Naruto. Congratulations. That sounds terrible. I'm afraid you'll have to deal with that. See you tomorrow, Naruto. Fine, whatever, Captain, Naruto sighed. This really was not his day. Yo, Red and Broody, Anko called. Naruto smiled. At least I have Anko. Come buy me some dango. Some guy named Ibiki came to talk to me about something. Perhaps he spoke too soon. May 4th, 072. Fox, from this day forward you are squad captain. What would you like your team name to be? The old third Hokage asked, filling out the document. Team Deva, Lord Hokage, Fox answered. Team Deva. Understood, he nodded. Very well. Eagle, Salamander, Bear. The 3 of you are to serve on Team Deva under Captain Fox. Understood? Yes, Lord Hokage. The 3 replied with a salute and quickly vanished. Fox, you may remove your mask, the elderly man said with a smile. Naruto. I'm so proud of you. Is that right, old man? Naruto grinned, his multicolored eyes glowing in the low light. That in and of itself was a whole new discussion. They had quickly realized that the so-called demon child had returned with terrifying eyes was not something they wanted, so Naruto rarely left home without his ANBU mask. When he did, it was for training or taking Anko out on dates. For the former, he wore the mask until he reached the training ground, while for the latter, he pulled a Kakashi and covered his red eye with his headband, only leaving the blue one out in the open. Surprisingly enough, no one commented, though that was likely because the only people who would have noticed already knew what happened. No one else cared about him enough to pay any attention. Although, the people that did recognize him were now even more hateful than before. Naruto had formally requested the end to the Third's Law, which would unban the open discussion of Naruto's Jinchuriki status, and the old man had reluctantly agreed. Being in the ANBU in addition to being a powerhouse of his own, Naruto was more than capable of defending himself against outside threats, and if Naruto wanted the younger generation to know, who was he to stop them? Indeed. If Minato and Kushina were here, they'd be just as pleased. Thanks, old man, but are you sure about this? I'm kinda young to be a captain, you know? That does seem to be a lesson you haven't learned yet. Naruto, age is a simple number. It doesn't have anything to do with your skill or abilities. Only in specific case does your age truly matter, especially in the life of a shinobi. I guess you're right, Naruto sighed. It's just a lot to take in, you know? All at once, too. My best friend betrays the village, or something, I lose my eye, I gain a new set of freaky legendary eyes, and now I'm an ANBU captain. Don't forget Enko, the third teased. Right, he blushed slightly. It's just a lot. I get that, Naruto, but I'm sure you'll be fine. I won't necessarily recommend you listen to this advice, but it may be good advice to have. Find yourself a vice. A what? A vice, Naruto. A distraction? Something to do in your downtime. It may not be something necessarily good for you or healthy, but something to forget your troubles with. I have my dear pipe. Jiraiya writes his wonderful novels, Kakashi reads those novels. As do you. Ahem, the Hokage turns slightly red. My point is, find something to distract yourself with. I'll see what I can do, old man. Perhaps I should delve into my old ramen habit. Good. Now, since you're a new captain, you're on my guard detail for a few months to break everyone in. Is that acceptable?